We know who owns the second pool table, the Louis Vuitton pool table. We know who's got the second one. Just thought to get that out there. Hello, everyone. How are you doing? I'm Danny the Heck, and we're going to have a look at some real media, and we're going to learn how not to do it or how to do it. And as my viewers here today, you can make that choice for yourself. But what we're about to hear is the interview that many victims believe should have happened. Already I've stuffed up. What we're about to hear is the interview many victims should have happened from the very beginning. That makes no sense. I practiced before I went live. Right, so let me just say it in my own words to get that out there. Now, we've watched this WFTV, Channel 9 News, do reporting on Christopher Delgado. And a lot of people have been contacting me, basically furious about watching Christopher Delgado being given a public platform on WFTV to explain himself, while sitting inside a luxury mansion surrounded by wealth funded from a Ponzi scheme. And as much as many viewers who may not have been following it like myself and my Avengers, they've portrayed him as making what seems like a business failure. And this has really infuriated my side of the community. And my side of the community is actually having a voice for the victims. And I've heard some claims which we're really finding hard to swallow. Like, we've contacted hundreds of victims. Well, if you haven't been keeping up with current events, we actually have a database of what we call persons of interest. And it's 330 individuals. We have figured out that there was at least 1,500 people involved with Goliath Ventures because we tracked the back end of their, their platform, and we looked at the customer numbers. And we're seeing a lot of the stuff that we have researched and found turning up on real journalism. So we don't know exactly how many people have been involved with Goliath Ventures. We have seen multiple reports, and it's between 1,500 and 2,000 from what we can find, which is alarming. But out of that, yes, it's true. A lot of victims don't want to be in the public arena because they're professionals and they have their name and reputation. And this scam is a disgusting one because it seems to have attached itself to a whole lot of professionals, simply because Christopher went after a lot of the charities and he got himself inside the communities. He paid like $200,000 for to have his name put on top of the Orlando Economic Partnership website. And we emailed 37 people in that company way back in the 21st of September saying, what the hell are you doing? Christopher's running a Ponzi scheme. And we got these emails back. No, we didn't. We got nothing back. Nothing back at all. Now a lot of people are reporting about this being a Ponzi scheme like it isn't 8 months old. We've done the work. We've done the time. So this man promising investors 3 to 8% returns per month is what he did. So here he is. He's been surrounded by mansions, Rolex watches. Now, the official reports say that Christopher's got 18 Rolex watches. Our research shows that he could have up to 50 or 100 Rolex watches. But apparently they're all hidden in Dubai. Lamborghinis, Ferraris, Rolls Royces. We were reporting months ago that there's $4 million worth of sports cars in the mansion. And then it's a good idea to show the Lamborghinis on camera to all the victims. And why is there a Lamborghini in his garage is what I'm asking. Private jets. We know that he was flying. We were tracking the tail numbers of the planes, where they went, where they landed. And we even knew that there was one airline company out there that was left a deficit of $723,000 because they hadn't managed to get the last bit of payment from Christopher and his journeys. Private parties, well, he's just had a few parties. In the last 2 weeks, Christopher's had a party. Apparently, it was somebody's birthday. So he's allowed to have parties. And, you know, everything's just sort of like rubbing the salt in the wounds for the victims. Celebrity connections. Let's not get started on Jason Derulo. Just before he spent $5 million apparently on a Christmas do, the night before, he was at another concert where he had executive seating. $30,000 we heard that could possibly have cost where he was sitting at this concert on the stage right next to the singer. Also, he went to a concert in Thailand. This was when everything had already fallen over and everyone's money had frozen. It was a 4-day venture. Don't know how he got there. Might have been in a Learjet, might have been business class. Who knows how the rich and famous really travel around the world. But the tickets, where the concert he went to, apparently $150,000. So this guy was spending money like it was water. And here he is now showing off his wealth like he's somebody, but he's just a fraudster. What else have we got here we can tell you? A billionaire lifestyle funded by investors' money. Not a failed businessman when it went all wrong. Shock horror. There was no income streams coming from Goliath Ventures that we have tracked. And we've been investigating this with a team of Avengers. Apparently we're not professionals. We've brought this investigation to the surface. And now we've got mainstream media. Now, I did actually message Darlene, and she's lovely. She came back to me and I said, what did I say to her? I said, hi, Darlene. I was the initial whistleblower for Goliath Ventures. I have a database of hundreds of victims, and I work directly with Homeland Security. And then I sent her my Signal address. Hi there. Thanks for reaching out. No worries. I don't have Signal, but I can call you. You can call me or message me on WhatsApp. That's great. Now, I won't give you her phone number because even I don't know her phone number because that was messaged to on Instagram. So I've sent her a link to this video and she's more than welcome to come and talk on stage. I do have a link and I'll put that there. So if you want to pop up on stage and tell us how you did your investigation, we could probably compare notes. It would be a hoot. All right. So we know that Christopher was promising people 3 to 8% monthly returns, and that was just too much for people to not get involved in. Now, this was promoted through friends and family, and it was, a private equity club, as they call it. So a lot of people invested because their friends had already done so, and that's why this grew so strong and got so much traction. And I'm going to carry on reading my introduction because it's pretty good. I'm not very fluent today. I actually hurt my finger. I feel like I want to tell you my story, but I don't want to get away from the thing. But I fell off my scooter, guys. But the good thing, I was wearing my favorite jacket. I had my laptop with me, which I love. I had my iPhone. I had my watch. I had these fancy earphones in and nothing. Well, none of my technology got scratched, so I just got my pinky hurt. I spent 4 hours in A&E yesterday waiting to find out whether it was broken or not, and it is broken. Instead of aggressively challenging the impossible returns, the missing money, the luxury spending, the recruitment machine, the wider network around Goliath Ventures, viewers got what victims believe was a soft, controlled interview where Christopher Delgado was allowed to emotionally reshape the narrative. And I actually started feeling sorry for Christopher when I was watching the interviews. And we've got a whole blog that we're going to show you guys, and we're going to watch these interviews together. And I'm just going to let you watch them because I would love to know what you guys really think. And if you are watching this on the rerun, because we're recording this live at the moment, because that's what real investigative journalism is all about, right at the coalface, I want you guys to comment and tell us how you, and then we've put a poll in the chat room as well, so you can participate in that. And the results of the poll, I will try to scream into the YouTube description where we've got the link to the blog that we're about to look at. All right. Now, if you haven't been getting up with current events, I've spent 8 months speaking with victims, whistleblowers, blockchain researchers, insiders, and people directly connected to this operation. We've done the hard yards, guys. That's what that's what real investigating journalism. I can't even say it. I think you know what I mean. Long before mainstream media arrived on the scene, independent investigators were already exposing frozen withdrawals. I actually managed to contact somebody at the Bank of America, and they went, "Whoa, this account's got hundreds of thousands of dollars being transferred." And I think that was the account that had $73 million in it. So then I started getting blamed for collapsing Goliath Ventures because we managed to get their accounts froze. I didn't freeze the accounts. I just I was the messenger to the banks, and then they froze the account when they saw the the activity going on. But anyway, long before mainstream media arrived, independent, blah, blah, frozen withdrawals, the lifestyle marketing, the offshore stories, and the mechanics behind people who believed was one of the biggest crypto Ponzi schemes in recent history. So these are the questions victims actually wanted answered. Not soft questions, not empathy questions. Oh, what did you do with the money? And why didn't you stop, Chris? Okay, sorry, I'm trying to be normal and professional because I'm a professional journalist. Not public relation questions, real questions. The kind of questions a real investigative journalist asks when hundreds of millions of dollars disappeared and ordinary people have lost everything. Look, I've been on the phone to multiple victims, and I remember still speaking to two firemen, and they both lost $100,000 each. And I still remember the lady saying to me on the phone, but they're part of Black Rock. And I went, no, darling, it's Black Block. Huh? Who's Black Block? And I said, they just got a company out there and gave it a similar name so that you wouldn't, if you haven't researched this like this, the whole thing's deceptive. It's total fraud. There's no wiggle room for we were trying to be a real company. And, and they said, do you think we'll get our money back? And I said, no, I don't. And they said, oh, so it's no point fighting it then? And I said, well, yes and no, but most lawyers will want a retainer of $25,000. And I don't think there's any money left. And this is what we're seeing now. So I don't know what to say. I have got a friend on the stage at the moment who's been sitting there very quietly, and she's going to help give me their 2 cents with one of my Avengers who's been following this. I don't know, it would be fair to say more than I have, but she's been with me all the way along. So I said to her, let's watch this video together. And these are all on their YouTube channel. And I want to hear from you guys. I want to know in the chat room when I get myself calmed down and breathing normally again, what you actually think about this type of journalism. Because I'm actually, I must admit, some of my colleagues thought that Darlene's done a good job at exposing Christopher. And I don't necessarily share the same point of view. I think if you've never actually seen or heard about Goliath Ventures, you might actually think this is an interesting story. But but I just don't believe this is the real story. I think this is more sensationalism. I think this is a poor excuse of what they call independent journalism. And I think that, especially when I actually have been inside there, inside the building where they recorded this and spoke to, I think it's the same building. No, I haven't been. No, this is Channel 9 News. I spoke to a reporter for 45 minutes on the phone when I was in Orlando, asking them to interview me face-to-face. Fox 35 News did interview me face-to-face, and I think there is some stuff coming out on Fox 35 soon. I also spoke to Channel 9 News through a reporter on the phone, and there was one other one I spoke to as well, which I can't remember. But I got interviewed on camera with Fox 35 News, and I went into ISW, is it WNBC? NBC, I don't know. They all look the same to me. They had big towers outside that. It's really interesting. Anyway, let's have a listen, and let's stop it when we think we need to. Hey, Pixel.
Conspirators are accused of taking in more than $300 million from people who thought that they were investing in cryptocurrency.
I've just been told that I actually went inside WNBC News, which I always get mixed up with NBC News. So there you go. Thank you very much for my my news chat. And I'll put some messages up on the screen while we're listening to this. But this is breaking news that's 8 months old.
Good evening. I'm Greg Warmoth.
And I'm Martha Sagowski. This is a big story. Channel 9 anchor and investigative reporter Daralene Jones joining us live in the studio with us. And Darlene, in all the weeks you've spent a long time talking with Delgado, he's never denied what's in that criminal complaint.
No, Greg and Martha, but he repeatedly told me that he never intended for Goliath Ventures to become a Ponzi scheme.
Oh my God. He never intended for Goliath Ventures to be a Ponzi scheme. Well, what the hell was it then? I mean, what was it? Wouldn't that be a question? That would be, well, what was it if it wasn't a Ponzi scheme then? That's what I'd be saying.
Now he is cooperating with the feds, and he told me
He's cooperating with the feds 3 or 4 weeks before he actually handed himself in, just in case you wanted to know the real story.
he's already told them what you're about to hear, from how it all started to where that cash went.
Cash. It was some crypto. There was mostly cash because they put it through banks, and there was about $15 million in crypto, so I believe. But the big story is that he was doing liquidity pool swaps, and there was $20,000 in liquidity pool. But there's $328 million here. I'm sorry, I'm going to do this I'm going to ruin this, aren't I? I'll shut up.
Christopher Delgado says he was in Dubai trying to salvage Goliath Ventures when he learned a federal...
Okay, well, let's break that down. You went to Dubai, and you were talking to who, and what were you hoping to achieve by being in Dubai? Especially since most of the people that invested with Goliath Ventures were American.
criminal complaint was coming.
I had a responsibility.
Oh, give me a bucket straight away. Sorry, I've been following this guy too long. A responsibility.
To come back, not only face the charges,
Oh, you're a hero now.
but also give a full picture of what happened.
Delgado is no longer running Goliath Ventures, and he says he's not running from the truth either.
They
Well, what is the truth?
put their trust in me, and I failed them.
Hundreds of people trusted him with their life savings. And
Well, let's go for a walk through the $8.5 million mansion. And this was one of 4, maybe possibly 5 houses that Christopher had. I can't remember. I think it was 4 or 5. I lost count. But I've actually been outside your house, Chris, in case you're watching this on your big TV screen. When I was busting Goliath Ventures, I got rang up by people who went to a party, and they said he's actually got you on the big screen outside in the house, and they're watching my videos as I'm actually blowing him up as running a Ponzi scheme. How about that? And now we're going to go for a nice look through the house that he deserves. Why is he still in this house?
some lost it all. He's wearing an ankle monitor confined to his 11,000 square foot estate, bought last year with Goliath investors' cash, just before his attorneys confirmed he was under federal investigation.
I would like to know who owns that car, why it hasn't been seized, and I'd like to know why that car hasn't been seized, because all the other cars seems to have disappeared. So why is that one still in the garage? Maybe it's Steve Davis. I heard they were flatmates there for a while.
There was only like $160,000 left in the bank account.
Chris, she blew through tens of millions of dollars.
Did you not see the Christmas party where he blew through $5 million? Jason Derulo plane had everything. Like, there's a poor guy has bought a container full of merchandise worth $500,000 if you bought it. Now it's worth nothing. And he blew tons and tons of money on parties. And he blew for all the money. And now listen to the next words.
We were paying people.
Who? Who were you paying? The partners. Nick Petrillo. First civil lawsuit filed. And he was claiming that Christopher didn't pay him $40 million in bonuses and rewards. And he wanted Christopher to stick to the contract that they had. And we've got 27 co-conspirators that have been receiving fist loads of money. So I think we would go deeper into this question about now.
We were paying people, and our people were making an astronomical amount of money.
This federal criminal complaint shows Goliath was born out of Gen Z venture firm in 2019 when Delgado moved from Miami to Orlando, a long way from where he grew up in Victorville, California.
Let's hear the hard luck story again. I was brought up in a trailer park. My mum was a single. We've heard this story before because he's been on numerous podcasts promoting Goliath Ventures, telling the same story. Well, let's have another amazing story how this man went from nothing to something. Where did he actually finish up though? He went from a trailer park and become a criminal.
I grew up poor. My first job, I was making $8 an hour and was still broke at 16, with no bills, working my ass off.
Delgado says he earned
Hard
his
worker.
first million later as an adult working as a consultant, bringing in $100,000 to $200,000 per contract, convincing businesses and entrepreneurs he could boost their brands. And he was investing.
I think that was the first time in my life I went into a scarcity mindset. I was scared to lose the money. So if I'd spend $2,000 here, I'd try to figure out a way to make $2,000 here.
You had no college education, no formal president role in any sort of corporate company, and people were paying
Yeah, well, he did work at In-N-Out Burger, but he got fired for stealing.
you to tell them how to run their business.
Yeah. So I had that alert to me, you know? You're the first person ever that would be like, why are these people paying you?
No, he's not the first person, Christopher. We've been trying to stop people paying you for quite a few months now.
And it's a very valid question. And no
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it is quite valid, isn't it?
one's ever asked me that.
Federal investigators say Delgado and his co-conspirators solicited investors under false and fraudulent promises of monthly returns, which were sometimes presented as guaranteed or low risk. We are not naming the alleged co-conspirators because they are not named in this complaint.
This is the part that really pisses me off. And if you might think I have a bit of an attitude today, well, you'd be right. Now, I don't know what person wouldn't investigate this. All right, now I know I can give them 50 people. Look, if you go to theheck.com, which is my website, and you click on the link that I've dedicated called Goliath Ventures, under there, which is here. So you're on my website. Look at that cigar there he's smoking there. Oh, they're having a game of pool. That's nice. That's one of two pool tables. We do know who owns the other one. So you click on Goliath Ventures here, right? And then if you go to the contact details here, if I click on this, I'll show everyone's phone number, then I'll get done for doxing, and that's the rules of YouTube. But you can click on that link there, and you can get everybody's phone number who was either a partner, executive, even Nadia Bringas, Harry J. Samuels. If you want their phone numbers, they're all under there. There's a telephone directory. So you can go there and click on it, and you can actually go knock on the doors of these individuals. Now, one person I am thinking of, Tomo. I can't say his last name, but it's a funny last name. He owns Inspired Rejuvenation Clinics. We know he's been opening those clinics left, right, and centre. And we also know that he hasn't got people coming in the door to merit the spend that he's doing at the moment. So why doesn't a journalist, rather than having these blank pictures on the screen, actually go and do some good old investigative journalists and actually contact these people and ask them on camera what involvement they had with Goliath Ventures? You can't get sued for that, guys. Surely you can't. And that's why I went to Orlando. I went to Washington, D.C., and then I went to Orlando, and I went inside. I went to Chris's house. I went to where his offices were, and I went and talked to victims face to face. I haven't got it on my desk, but I've even got a T-shirt that cost somebody $800,000. That's what you get when you join Goliath Ventures. Why can't they knock on these? We've got the co-conspirators. You've got photos of Patrick, Ben, David, and all these people endorsing Christopher. Why don't you go and ask for statements from these people? Why? That's what investigative journalists do. But saying that you're not mentioning names, I get that part of it, but hopefully there's more coming out of this investigation that you're doing, because it seems like you just started.
But Delgado told us he shared their roles with the feds. Investors signing these agreements were required to come to the table with at least $100,000 to get into what they thought was a cryptocurrency investment, earning about 3 to 8% each month.
And they came to me and they said, we want to make this bigger than what it is. And that was how Goliath started.
Delgado tells me
We want to make it bigger than it really is. So what did you actually have there, Chris? What were you doing to generate three? This is
New
ludicrous
donation
money.
from Bren.
Oh, thank you, Bren. That's very appreciative. Must be doing something
Who
right.
wanted to?
But,
Who wanted to make that bigger than it was? Who?
this is Susie.
He didn't address it.
Say it again.
He didn't say any of it. He didn't say. He said they wanted to make it bigger than it was.
Yeah, but
Well,
who?
who is that? Who is it?
Yeah,
It doesn't make any sense.
yeah, and
Why is everybody acting like it's a surprise that there were other people working with Chris, including
yeah.
Daralene?
What? She was working with Chris?
No, why is she acting like it's a surprise that there were other people working with Chris? She could have done the same thing that everybody else has done and going to archive.org and looking at the Goliath website and seeing all the photos and asking some questions of those people. She did 3 segments of this interview and spoke to Chris for weeks, but didn't do any of that? Or
Yeah.
did she? And she can't tell us. Which one is it?
I mean, it's actually gutting. I mean, I'm actually curious here because I'll tell you, we'll listen to this for a bit more, and I'm actually going to bring up the archive. I mean, we're OSINT investigators, open source intelligence. But basically, we go through the internet, we find everything that's online, and we use that in our research. And unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but Susie's absolutely 100% correct. Is why wouldn't you have, I'm just bringing up archive.org. Why wouldn't you just go to archive.org and ask, well, who are these other people on your website? Now, I'll give you an example why that's interesting. And I'm just going to go back because Nick Petrillo made a statement at one point saying that he didn't realize that he was on the Goliath Ventures website for at least a year. I mean, crazy stuff like that. And then, so if you go to the Wayback Machine, anybody can do it. I know what I need to do. I need to go our team. So this is going to be fun. Our team. I don't think that's in there so much. It's going to come up an error now. Or is it? Oh, no, there it goes. So our team, I mean, we've got Alex here. I mean, why not ring up Alex, a fitness instructor, and ask how come he's now able to drive around in a Lamborghini? Well, that would make a good story. Get the ratings up. This is the travel director. I mean, that's funny. Steve Davis. Well, he's started up his own company now called choicepress.com, choice-press.com. He's a book publisher. Tomo, Mike, they've all got subpoenas, by the way. Punic Shaw, get this. Punic Shaw recruited 500 people into Goliath. Darlene, if you listen to this, you want to ring up him. He's a realtor. He recruited 500 people into Goliath Ventures, and he's got this club called the 7% Club because people that were in his under his umbrella were getting 7% returns per month. Casey Halliday, I can't even say their name, Marty Bremer. But like if we go back
Marty Berthelmer.
Oh, thank you. My assistant reader today. I've got a reader. I've got some. But there's all these people that have been on this website and they've gone off. Now they updated this website on a regular basis. So one guy actually, Vince Griata, he let's just say he had a bit of a breakdown when he didn't want to be part of it anymore. They removed him from the website. They were updating this website regularly is what I'm sort of getting at. So, there's lots of evidence on there. But anyway, let's not, I digress, as they say. Let's carry on. Oop, go, darling.
Initially, it was just a small group of friends investing alongside one another.
Are you ready to take responsibility?
Sorry.
That was the whole point of this, was not only to show people and to tell people, from beginning to end what had happened, but to allow me to tell them directly from me how sorry I am.
I'm sorry. What about all the lavish parties? The 6 figures you'd spend on alcohol one night in a bar. Spending $500,000 on a Christmas dinner on 2024 and $5 million on a Christmas dinner in 2025. I mean, really? Okay, so this was number one.
Greg and Martha, we spoke with him for hours at a time over several weeks, and there is a lot more to this story that we'll bring to you here throughout the week, asking him why he kept spending other people's money and where hundreds of millions of dollars went. More about his alleged co-conspirators as well. Since we started promoting this story last Friday, I have heard from dozens of victims. The stories are heartbreaking. None of them willing to go on camera just yet, but we're talking nurses, firefighters, teachers, retirees. They lost everything. You can still file a claim if you're out there. That information will be on our website. They didn't even think we should let him answer these questions, but we thought it was important to hold him accountable.
I have a bunch of questions.
All right. He's going to go on about the yellow Lamborghini.
But he doesn't keep that yellow sports car.
No.
In the house?
No.
All right. We're going to hear from.
So why prance around inside his house and show the wealth of Christopher to the victims and rub salt in the wounds? How hard do you think the firemen, the people that put millions of dollars in it, watching him in that house, running a house like that must cost a lot. Where's that money coming from at the moment? Why don't they move him out of that house and put him into a little wee flat with a big padlock on the door? Why broadcast that? I'm actually discussing it. Anyway, you probably figure that out. So I just think that's sad. And that's video number 1. I don't really know how to, I just don't think that was right. And whether I'm wrong or right, I don't know if this is journalism today. This is not the sort of journalism you'll see me covering. I'm not going to give somebody a voice. Now, this, to me, looks like a conditional interview. I'll only talk to you if you allow me to push certain people under the bus. And this is what the next 2 videos even discuss me even more. And I know more than I can say. It's just disgusting. I can't even say how disgusting it is because I'll just get angry. But anyway, let's get rid of that one. We've got the pool table coming up, and we'll tell you who owns pool table number 2. Make sure I've got this right. So this was published 2 days ago, and it's had 5,900 views. Not like my CoffeeZilla, well, not mine, but not like Stephen's CoffeeZilla's video that's had 2.6 million views. That's what real journalism is. So we'll go have a look at their wee video, and let's have a listen. You ready? This is real journalism, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not professional enough to be even talked to by Daralene. She's going to give me a ring on WhatsApp one day.
So what happened?
That Investigates first revealed some of what the former CEO told us about the alleged Ponzi scheme last night. And tonight, we focus on what happened to all that money.
Channel 9 anchor and investigative reporter Daralene Jones joins us live right now with more of her exclusive reporting. Darlene.
Martha and Greg, right now, Christopher Delgado is the only person facing a criminal complaint. And that is part of the reason he agreed to speak with me without even telling his attorneys. He told me he knows he is going to prison for a long time, but he may not be alone.
He may not be alone. Look, I instigated this investigation on the 1st of September 2025. I reached out to John from Homeland Securities.
New donation from someone.
Oh, thank you, someone. That's really nice. Someone's really nice. If you do donations on Ko-Fi and put a name, they will come up on the screen. Isn't that cool? I've just figured out how to do that, by the way. And I don't do this for the money, but I do need it, and I do appreciate it. And I just want to say to all the people that have donated to me since CoffeeZilla's video, you are the most kind-hearted people. I'm getting donations, one person, $250, from one person who doesn't know me from a bar of soap. That's blown me away that people are that generous, and I promise you that the money is really much appreciated, and it will help me do proper investigative journalists. And we are looking at trying to get something more stable set up so that we can investigate and do real investigations on other Ponzi schemes and scams that people are not reporting on. And, like, I love what I do. And this, I've put everything. And I promise you I've put everything. I've even endangered my life. These guys knocked on my door of my house trying to bribe me to stop reporting on this. They'd already offered me $150,000 on paper, telling me that if I hand over the people that they thought was bankrolling me to do this, and wrote a Dear John letter, they would give me $150,000. I refused. I don't want your money. And then they sent 2 guys a couple of months later and knocked on my door. And I thought that was from the FBI or somebody who'd come and see me. They were private investigators, which we're currently putting a complaint in about their activity and the way they handle it and the way they found me, because I'm very hard to find. Well, I thought I was. And they wanted to offer me a better deal. And I said, only if I can record it. And they wouldn't let me record it. I've got no idea of finding out who those guys were. And then they left my property with some words from my mouth that I never told my mum I could say. And we actually managed to find the investigation company that were hired. And we're now going after them. And one of them's on a board meeting, on a member of the board. And while the investigation is going on, he'll have to step down. So we're going after everybody that went after me big time as much as we can, because it's not right. But, you know, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it's been the last 7 days have been amazing. And the support I've got from CoffeeZilla's fans is really much appreciated and much needed. But, you know, I've put everything into this, everything, you know, and I do it to all our investigations. But it's not just me. There's a team of investigators. We call ourselves the Avengers, and they work behind the scenes. They provide me information. Even today's blog, we had a meeting beforehand. I said, this is what I want to do today. And we just work our butts off. This is not, you know, I don't know Daralene Jones. I'm sure she's done some amazing work. Fantastic. I'm not picking on you, Darlene. I'm just saying that I don't believe this is real journalism. And unfortunately, if this is where journalism has got, I'm glad to be an independent journalist. People like CoffeeZilla are where what people want. 2.6 million people viewed his video in the first 3 days. This video's had 6,000 views. Maybe you need to start pushing the boundaries a little bit more and asking the right questions. And we've got the questions coming up, ladies and gentlemen. We've got 27 questions that we felt that Daralene Jones missed out on. Or is there something more to this interview? Did Christopher come to you guys and say that I'm willing to go on camera, but only if? I think I figured it out. And I'll show you in the video. Let's carry on anyway.
Confirmed, federal investigators have issued subpoenas of others with the company, and that could lead to other criminal complaints. Investors tonight simply want to know if they'll ever get their money back.
Inside of its $8 million Isleworth mansion,
Let's go for another walk through the house, shall we?
Christopher Delgado wears an ankle monitor right next
Oh, that must be uncomfortable. What about my finger? That hurts.
to his Hermes sandals that retail for about $1,000.
Was that necessary? Was that necessary?
I mean,
It wasn't necessary.
why do we have to see his friggin' sandals? It looks like he's got foot rot. But let's home in on the ankle bracelet and let's show off the $1,000. Oh, he's done so well for himself. He stole $1,000 to put on his feet from some poor innocent victim. And I think if I invested my money, my $100,000 was the minimum investment, all of a sudden I'm thinking I just pay for those slippers.
He's surrounded by luxury clothes.
What's the black car? I didn't see that last time. So what's the black car? So he's got 2 cars in that garage. Hold up, we're going back. I didn't see the black car. I only saw the yellow car.
He's surrounded.
What is that logo? Is that it's a black one. Is that, it's not a Cayenne, is it?
It looks
So he's
like
got,
a reflection of some sort.
because it's got a
That's
logo on
right.
the,
I didn't notice that at first in the
oh,
picture either.
we're going to go frame. So actually, oh, hold up. We're just going to stop. But I actually think it is a reflection, not a logo. You're right.
Right next to his Hermes sandals that retail for about $1,000. He's
It's a Mercedes. So he's got a black Mercedes sitting there that's probably been all decked out by that guy that was doing all the deck outs, Langwood, whatever his name was. Why are those vehicles there? FBI, Homeland Security, the USSS, the CFTC, all those people that we know were investigating this. We're currently investigating another scam at the moment called BG Wealth Sharing, and I've heard that 30 government departments from around America are investigating it. That's what I heard. I didn't even know they had 30 government departments that were doing active investigations. Anyway, just put that out there. But we know that we had 6 different government agencies investigating what Christopher was doing at the time. But I don't know which one's responsible for taking these cars out of his garage. But why are they there? Are they just stored there? Like, do they not take them back to the police auction? I don't know. Anyway, so that's a Mercedes sitting there and a yellow
surrounded
car.
by luxury clothes, cars, and
That's not. Is that the same pool table? Oh, I think my version of the pool table's better. Did you guys see my pool table? Let me show you my picture today. Hold on, let's see if I can bring it up in a hurry. Okay, here it is. Oops, I just did the wrong thing there. I hate when I do things in real time. It never really goes the way you want. But if you have a look back here, okay, so as we said at the start, this is a Louis, that there, my picture looks better as a Louis Vuitton pool table than that one. And, and look, they're having a game of pool. I think that would have been better. Anyway, let's carry on. Sorry. Anyway, let's have a look.
Comfort.
This is an actual.
Look at that. And all the balls, in case you want to buy it at the police auction, have got Louis Vuitton balls. Isn't that clever?
One of two Louis Vuitton.
Oh, isn't that nice? I want one of those. I don't care how rich I ever get. I never ever want to have lavish toys that I don't give a. I would never buy anything I didn't for show. I don't know what that is. Anyway, they're going to take that away, and they're going to do forensic tests on it, and they're going to get one of those blue lights like they had. Yeah, okay.
Pool tables.
Prosecutors allege Delgado paid for.
And what is that? So I assume you're standing there like Robo-Man, and you can walk around like a bionic man. But we had to put that on the camera as well, just so everyone that when you get rich and you have more money than a bull can shit, you've got to go out and get one of these.
Is that a transformer?
It is a transformer.
It must be a transformer.
Yeah.
A life-size one?
So when Christopher's telling you on camera in the next frames that he was trying to save Goliath Ventures, he was also spending money on pool tables, sandals, and what's that thing called? A turban? It's something. It's a thing. Rich people know what they are.
What?
This lifestyle with money from investors.
I've been there. I've been right there. I know where they put the camera. I have stood there. Thank you to the people that stuck me in there. You might have to go looking through, ask the guard at the gate there to just tighten the security on the back entrance. And if you lay down low in the passenger seat, they don't see you. They don't ask for your ID, eh, Chris?
Investors who thought his company, Goliath Ventures, was earning them quick and.
Even I know where they got those screenshots from. We got given those. That's from Mike's computer. And if you want the real footage where we went through here, got all the names, all the email addresses, and all the phone numbers of all the investors, and then we put them into ChatGPT and we've got a database for them. We found $35 million just in these screenshots.
Large monthly returns from 3 to 8%. They each had to invest at least $100,000. Delgado told prosecutors some poured in millions.
Ooh, sounds like somebody lost a lot of money. It's unfortunate, isn't it, guys?
So what happened to their money that should have been sitting in an account?
Their money was being used to make distributions.
To who?
To either them or other investors.
Now, that was her best question. But what investors? Why couldn't Chris mention anyone's name there? Because then it wouldn't be the TV's problem that he mentioned the name. They wouldn't have got sued by saying Tomo.
What else did you use the money for?
I mean, we used it for corporate events.
Hey, Chris,
we used it for personal spend.
The Securities and Exchange Commission has strict regulations for managing an investment fund. WhatsApp messages we obtained show someone Delgado communicated with raising.
Wonder who it was. Do you know who it was, Susie? She's gone. Susie's still there. She's hiding.
Who's this? Who this
well,
is?
we've seen so many screenshots that when they show us screenshots like this, we normally can figure out who they're talking to, because we actually read the way people speak, and sometimes you can't make this shit up. But honestly, I'm just going to bring up my co-conspirator list while I'm doing it. But okay, that's up there. So I'm just wondering who this screenshot is. I will have my lawyer draft it. Sorry, I thought you were working on it. Okay, we understand that you are already working on it. Laugh out loud, emoji face, crying tears. But no problem. We can also draft one if you like.
Concerns
I
about
don't think
the
that's a laugh out loud. I think that I think it's LOI, letter of intent.
Oh, letter of intent. Oh, okay. I do know what that means. That's why I have other Avengers, because I miss some main points sometimes, and I might get in trouble and people might sue me.
Raising concerns about.
Oh, there it is. Okay, we understand that you are already working on a LOI. You're good, Susie. You should do this for a living. But no problem. We can draft up one if you
the
like.
SEC.
And about our meeting in Madrid. Maybe it's better to do this before my surgery. Oh, cosmetic surgery, reckon? Fake boobs? Might have been one of his girlfriends. Don't know, hold it. Maybe at the end of Feb, begin of March, when it fits. When does it fit in for you? You're such a busy man. All these parties you're going to.
And U.S. laws.
Okay.
This
Hey.
this string was dated in 2023.
Wow.
Yeah?
Oh, he's probably talking
Isn't it?
to the my liquidity partners or traders domain, maybe. I don't know.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Oh,
Is
there
this
you
an
go.
MLP string?
I was just making it up. Is your Dubai company set up yet? Yeah, because they hadn't, theoretically, would you believe, Goliath Ventures, we never found any offices, but they theoretically had an office in Dubai that didn't ever exist. But everyone's assumed that there's actually an office in Dubai, but we've never had any evidence of one. Just started talking to the lawyer to set up paperwork. I know one individual that Christopher borrowed. I can't even say the right amount, but then again, you're not allowed to talk to anybody, are you, Chris? But you are talking to people, aren't you? I know one person that borrowed, let's just say $500,000 to Christopher and lost it. And it wasn't even an investment. It was just borrowing, Christopher, loaning Christopher. No, he was paying Christopher $500,000 to do some work for him, and he never got the money back. And he kept on saying to Chris, where's my money? You're making all this money. Why don't you give me my money back? And he never provided the services that he claimed he was going. He just took his mate's money. Anyway, okay, so some paper and advised to not deal directly with US companies or citizens as everything would fail under SEC regulations. Can we deal with your Dubai entry instead?
Back to 2023.
Did you have a license to manage it? Like, how was the...
I mean,
Why did you have to play dumb? Are you a regulated financial advisor? Did you try to apply for an MSB license? All these things. Sorry, Michelle, I can't answer you right now.
we sought counsel. And we were told, this is friends and family.
It grew to other people, some investing their pensions and others retirement accounts. Delgado says early investor money did go into a cryptocurrency fund in Dubai, but
Did it? We didn't find it.
What fun. I mean, I can think of a few that we've looked at.
Yeah, we didn't see any big, we were talking millions of dollars coming in. And also, where do you think they got the figure from for $328 million? JP Morgan was the first bank they were using. Then they got frozen. Then they moved to Bank of America, two bank accounts there. And then they started using Luminous Bank. Am I saying that right, Luminous?
Luminate Bank.
Luminate Bank, which set up in Orlando around about 6 months before I come on the scene. So because there was a new bank, we thought, I bet he's into that, and he was. But we didn't find any proof for a long time. And then I think we found 3 contracts where they paid into that bank, which is quite interesting.
So why is it that Daralene didn't ask about more of the information or what was going on in Dubai? I mean, again, there's plenty that was on Goliath's website about what they were doing there, Seed Hunter and some other things, though that never came up.
Yeah. Well,
Is
Seed Hunter.
Is that where this fund was?
Yeah, well, I know we held a party for Seed Hunter when they launched in Dubai. So there's my liquidity partners, there's Seed Hunters, and there was somebody else, Traders Domain. I don't think he was involved in that, but he seemed like he invested in that. So, and then there was, who else was there? There was, I think that was it. Because originally, what people don't realize, we even found the company, but they were going to purchase these water-cooled crypto mining containers. And we heard that you pay $250,000 for a crypto container, then you can divvy it up into 10 sections, so $25,000 a pop, and then you could sell those, and you'd use them to do water-cooled crypto mining, which is lucrative, but it's not 3 to 8% per month lucrative because you have to run the damn things, and electricity is not cheap. But they had secured a deal where they could get discounted power, and it was going to be all set up in the UAE. But this wasn't Goliath Ventures venture. This was actually somebody else's venture. And Christopher was looking at becoming a reseller. And there's a picture of Nick and Christopher. If you want that picture, WFTV, let me know. But I've got a picture of Christopher standing with Nick in front of, actually, I'll show you the picture. You can take a screenshot and you can use it if you like. I'll just see if I can find it. But it's really interesting. So they were trying to do stuff. Maybe that's what Christopher was talking about. You know, who knows?
Maybe he put it into Bitword. You think he put it into Bitword, Danny?
Oh, that was the company, wasn't it? The other one. Was that the name of it?
That was the spin-off that Junaid Dar and Assad Dar had launched.
Hey, I'm just wondering, also, Darlene, not that I'm giving you a hard time, but have you got all these photos of Christopher and standing in front of the day he got his Rolls Royce? Have you got the day when they were coming to arrest him photos? Have you got the guy that owns
New
that
donation
airplane?
from someone.
Oh, thank you very much, somebody. I really like this. Have you got the photo of me as the pilot in the plane? While they're all, there's Kat. Hi, Kat. You've been very helpful, Kat. What about when Christopher was starting out his journey? You know, when before he got his, what do they call that stuff where they suck all the fat out of your tummy?
Liposuction?
Liposuction? Because it does look like he's got liposuction since then. You know, or have you got the photo? All these people here are getting subpoenaed now. That's Sanjay. G'day, Sanjay. And he's got his frosty tips. Hey, did you notice that in the videos he hasn't got frosted tips anymore? I don't think he can't afford them.
He can't go out and get them, but maybe he could have somebody come to the house and do it for him. I mean, he's had parties. So.
Yeah, or you could. Well, maybe you could just like do the cheap version of them. What about this one? This one here I love. It's Christopher when he used to eat the In-N-Out burgers before he got fired from In-N-Out Burger. Oh, there you go. Oh, is that the water cool miner? Is that there you go. So there's Nick Petrillo and Christopher standing in front of crypto mining. And this was used to, you know, give people the illusion that, oh, there we go. I've got the photo. I knew I'd find it sooner or later, but I don't know if you can see it very well. I wonder if I can enlarge it a bit. No, I can't enlarge it. I'll tell you what I'll do though. I will, I've stuffed up now. We will download the photo. These are some of this is what they did. Like one guy I was talking to, he said when he went to Dubai, Chris took him out to a fancy restaurant. They were people that were used to find investors. And this is the meal that the guy got. And he sent me the photos of all the lavish, the food that they ate that night when Chris was trying to entertain them to get them to find investors for Goliath Ventures. And I can't even tell you who that is because I'd have to do things. But I just want to find these. Oh, this is Chris and I. I'm going to go visit him in 30 years. And I've done a recreation of Chris after he's been in prison for 30 years. And I'm going to go visit him. I always look the same age. This is the guy you want to investigate. This is Tomo. He's the man about town. Goliath Strong. Ron DeSantis. That's Chris. That's actually not the real photo of Chris. I had to get that one remade. Here's the guys that you really want to go after, Darlene. These are the co-conspirators. Every single person in this photo generated money for Goliath Ventures. And we have all their phone numbers. And you can go and knock on their door and say, can you please, this is the other thing people don't realize. Every single one of these people have received a letter from me asking them what their involvement was with Goliath Ventures. And they don't reply, but here they are. All these people have been asked by me what their involvement. I mean, even Mr. Hunterway is meant to look like some goddess from some movie that you'd see, but he's involved. His mother's involved. You know, it's just all sorts of things.
I mean, there's plenty of material. There's plenty of material out there regarding the Vault 2025 conference.
Who's that guy in the background? The President of the United States of America. Who's this? Where did you get these photos from? I got them. Yeah, I'm not a proper investigator, so they tell me. I'm just going to bring this one up. I want to show the water cooled mining because it is interesting to know where Christopher was alleging the money was going to come from. And we have actually done the hard yard. So won't be a second, guys. I'll just bring that up on the screen so you can see it. Because I think this photo to me actually I thought at least they were trying to find something to invest people's money in. So this is, why does this not work? Here it is. Okay. All right. So that is a blurry photo, but that is Nick Petrillo and what's his name? Christopher Delgado standing in front of these containers. And what they were going to do with those containers is they were full of water-cooled mining for mining crypto. So when you went to the Goliath Ventures website and the Wayback Machine, it said that they were doing mining. This is what the mining was. But this project was concept, and it never took off. And it was not their project. They were asked to the company's logos on the door, and we found the website. I can't figure out where they are. If you want the evidence, Darlene, you can ring me up and I'll give it to you, and you can put it on the big TV screen. But what I'm saying is the company behind this, we found their website, we found the footage of them doing everything. So that was the mining side of the business. The other one was liquidity pool trading. And as CoffeeZilla said, they only found $20,000 in liquidity pools, $20,000 in liquidity pools. And the other thing they were doing on their website was Bitcoin technologies. So that's the only theoretical income streams that they had that never eventuated, but they kept getting investors' money and kept piling it up, and then used the new investors' money to pay the dividends to the old investors while they were sitting there twiddling their thumbs, triggering out what to do. So he's not a businessman. And this part, in the next part in the video, I think he says something like, it grew too quick and that got restricted. I don't even know what he's talking about, and I don't think Chris does either. But anyway, let's get back to it. Sorry, we'll just go to the last part of that.
Fund in Dubai, but it grew too quickly and ended up frozen. Goliath could see the money, but couldn't move it.
Now, that definitely needs more questions. It grew too quickly, and it was frozen, and this sounds like bad luck. I want to know more about this.
Sounds like he invested in a Ponzi scheme, Admiral. Do you
Oh,
think
yeah.
he invested in a Ponzi scheme? He may have.
Okay, so imagine from Chris's. Now let's just give it to Chris here. He's a good man. He's gone into the casino and he's just received a whole lot of money from investors. And he's sat there at the casino and they've said, Mr. Delgado, where do you want to bet? And he goes, I'm going all red. And he puts it on the red and he loses. That's what he did. And it's like he's even hanging out with people like Andrew Tate at one stage. And we knew that Andrew Tate, what did he lose money on? Is it liquidity trading, or Andrew Tate lost $1 million in something, a certain type of crypto, where crypto, if it goes down, you
Leverage
lose it.
trading.
That's
Leverage trading.
Yeah. Oh! I know what they forgot to do. I've got to go back. You're gonna hate me, Susie, but I'm not going. I'm getting off topic here. But I have kept this thing here. So this video here, if you want this, Darlene, let me know. But this video here shows Christopher on 3 super yachts with Andrew Tate. Now, that would have made great news. And we played this video frame by frame, and then we found Tomo, Mike, and Christopher on this ship. And here they are, and they all go out for dinner at what looks like a prison. And when I saw this video, I thought, oh my God, I'm taking on Andrew Tate. So where is it? There's Tomo. Whoops, there's Tomo. Hold on, just turn that music down. So that was Tomo. So, and then I contacted the Homeland Security. I said, do you know these guys are out here on these cruise ships? And they said, we're on it. They were monitoring them. I thought that was pretty cool. But this is to promote what they call the war room or something like that. But in a minute, I think it's at 1:13. Yeah, I'll see if I can stop it and you'll get it. But everyone was learning how to be Kung Fu fighters. And then you get to when they start coaching them, because it's all about mindset. You can't just do this stuff, do a few press ups. This wasn't to intimidate me, but any second now we're going to see, look at that man. Look at his hairdo. That's pretty. He's got no frosted tips there. Punch, punch, kick. Oh, there we are. Now we're in this room, and guess who's on the left-hand side over here is Tomo, which you can't see. That's Mike, and Christopher's sitting over here with his fancy shirt on. There he goes. So you've got Mike over here to the left, Tomo, and I'd love to know all these other men, though, because some of them didn't like their faces being on camera and they blurred them out.
Oh my gosh, I just realized something.
The war room. So,
no. Yeah. I'll have to tell you in a minute.
Okay.
Keep going.
All right, I'm going. But, there's Tomo. So then they all get dressed up and they go out for dinner with the mafia, it looks like. And we've even got, I'll let you show here Chris's jet skis. They're all smoking cigars. What is it with cigars? I just don't, I could probably smoke a cigar, but I don't think when I get rich and famous, I'm going to have my DDH cigars available for my guests. This girl forgot to put her pants on. And here's Christopher's going to be showing you donuts in a minute. Oh, that was him there. And that's Chris there. That's Chris there with blue shorts on, probably Louis Vuitton shorts, but they didn't get them on the TV. Whoop, who's that guy? Oh, and oh, more girls. There he is, Chris. Look, watch Chris going round, round. He's good, he's good. So, yeah, so we did that investigation. That was quite scary because they were in Croatia at the time. And then they all got dressed up and they went out for dinner at a prison, which is quite fitting now when you look back. And there they are. There's Tomo. And there's, Mike was just in the background there. You'll have to trust me on that. I'm not going to replay it. And this is where these men who think they're above the law hang out. And yeah, so there's Chris there. I didn't notice that last time. I'm going to go back and have a look at that. 1 minute, please, caller. So that's the back of Chris. See, he's got frosty tops. What did CoffeeZilla said? Frosted tops, frozen tops, frosted tops. You know, I should do it to my hair.
Frosted tips.
Frosted tips. I mean, how often would you have to cut your hair? He must be at the hair salon all the time. So. She looks really happy though. I mean, she looks like she's proud as punch. I mean, she's probably with a gangster and she doesn't even know it. But you do wonder. And then they put it like they're trying to show, you know, and there's going to be more cigars. Oh, that guy didn't want to. Look, all the fancy meals. Anyway, I think if you need that video, FTC TV, let me know. I'll give you the link to it. And if anyone else wants it now, I'll actually put it in the chat room for other people that just might want to watch that. But that was quite scary. When I saw that, I'll be honest, I didn't really want to piss off Andrew Tate. And if Andrew Tate, if you're watching this now, I don't really want to go on the cruise ship, but don't come after me. That was a bit scary, I must say. All right, let's go back. All right, back. Here we go. Let's keep watching the money. Action.
We had so much inflow coming in.
Inflow. Translated, money coming in.
And we knew that we had the cash to cover.
Oh. As long as you've got cash in the bank to pay your bills, you don't have to have a real business. It's called a Ponzi scheme.
And we knew once our product launched.
What product launch?
That we could have right or wrong.
Right or wrong? So you knew it was wrong from the start? I mean, this is what he's saying. He could right or wrong. So he's already in the wrong. And he's hoping that a friggin' miracle is going to turn up. And he's going to be able to pay everyone 8% per month. Because even if you were only getting 3%, he's paying the promoters more money. So if he's paying an investor 8%, he's given a backhander to the person that introduced him into it. And spending money like it's... Well, we worked out at one stage, this guy was blowing $25 million to $30 million on his lifestyle. So even if he was investing in his own company, he would have had to invest an astronomical lot of money to get the returns on the investment if they had, you know? It's just a suck.
And no one would have ever known.
The very definition of what you just described is a Ponzi scheme.
She's good.
But I also think a Ponzi scheme has intent.
What?
Notice the big dramatic pause?
Knowingly raising money, knowingly building it as a fraud. That's what everyone's missing here. I didn't build Goliath to be a Ponzi scheme.
What was it, Chris? What did you do to generate income for people as you was growing this company? Because it seems like you just went from small to large. So what were you actually intending to do, Christopher? Well, maybe that's coming out in the next series. Maybe she's going to be rushing around to Chris's place this afternoon or tonight and say, can we refilm some of this? I just need to ask you a few real questions.
Delgado tells us Goliath was...
Oh, and by the way, our friend that bought a container load of those mugs If you want a Goliath Ventures mug, we've got them at a super discounted rate. They're on eBay. But unfortunately, a guy bought $500,000 worth of merch that was in a storage container that he can't get rid of because he bought it sight unseen, like one of those what are they, storage hunter things? Yeah.
Trying to develop its own crypto product that would have taken over as a real investment.
It just kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed.
Sorry, I've got to ask what crypto product that was. Where is that question? A crypto product. Okay, what was it? What was the product that you were hoping that you were going to get over the line to actually give 8% plus back to your investors, Christopher? What was the product? Why didn't we ask that question? Am I missing something here?
But in these delays, we are now a rocket ship.
And you can
Sorry, but that's a bad one. We're a rocket ship. You're a rocket man. Oh, that's
continue to take investors.
We didn't have any choice.
We didn't have any choice. We just had to keep taking the money.
Why didn't you just say no?
I think it's easy for someone to sit on the outside. It's hard to do that in the moment. Yes, the logical answer is just cut our losses, come out, tell our investors it's done.
Did you get?
We had people who were contacting us on the 1st of September who just watched my videos I started reporting content on the 3rd of September, and we had people that had just invested on the 1st of September. We actually managed to get some people's money out, which is really, really cool. And somebody in the comments section said, we need an interview with Chris and Danny. And that actually, you won't believe this, that was actually a reality at one point. Yeah, I can't tell you too much more about that, but that is actually still on the cards. That's if he's in prison. But yes, I would personally fund myself to go and do that interview. I might have to use my cell phone to record it. But Christopher, if you're watching this and you do want to be interviewed by me and I can have some security along the way, which actually I already have some security, but that's a different story. I would love to interview you, Chris. If you're open to it, let's do it. Let's get it together. Let's get it on. I would love to interview you. That's cool. All right. Yes, that would be fun, actually. Yeah, I'd do that. What do you think I went to Orlando for? I did go to your house, but you weren't home because you were in Dubai at the time. The lights were out. Seriously. The day I went to your house, it was nighttime, and the lights were all out in your house. Otherwise, I would have knocked on your door. Oh, hold it, carry on.
Used to the lifestyle.
I wasn't going to allow
to fail.
This to fail.
Well, you're a failure then, aren't you? Because you did. Failed. Gone. Is that why you sent those guys around to my house, offered me $150,000 to take down my videos?
And I knew if we had stopped, not only was I going to fail all our investors, but I was going to be the biggest failure in Orlando.
You are the biggest. Now, we're talking $328 million here. We're talking about people that continuously gave him $100,000 minimum investment. We're not talking about one big investor that went pear-shaped. We're talking about a bunch of men all dressed up, smoking cigars, like the cigarettes, and continuously promoting this out to the community. The money was coming in like machine guns. You know, this was massive investment. This is not a small-time investment. And this guy just kept taking the money and knew and pissing it away. It's just disgusting. I'm connecting with him, though. I mean, somebody, my big friend, YouTuber friend,
New donation from Yaroslav.
Yaroslav, thank you very much. I hope I said that right. Thank you very much for that. He actually said it does expose Chris, and I think it does show. I mean, I reckon these videos are actually going to be gold going out because people are going to do voiceovers on these videos, and because this is only reported inside Orlando at the moment, so or inside Florida. So imagine when this goes national, even worldwide, and people start picking up on the story. They're going to look at these interviews here and go, well, they haven't really asked them the hard questions. Well, we've got those questions ready for those reporters. We'll show you those in a few minutes.
And I wasn't going to let that happen.
These Goliath marketing materials continue luring new investors. Federal investigators say Delgado and his alleged co-conspirators pulled
in at least
$328 million.
More. It's actually $500,000, this scam. And now they're starting to report it as $500 million. $500 million scam because he left a trail of destruction behind him. A lot of people owed money. So it's even more than that.
Right now, there is a federal order for Delgado to preserve a long list of assets, including high-end cars, jewelry, homes, and other.
Hold it. Did you see that? So I'm just looking at this here, right? Just going back here, right?
And other luxury items.
What do you have?
Hold it.
High-end cars, jewelry.
Enough. That's it there. Now look at that. So is this in the walk-in wardrobe? But these are Louis Vuitton bags, isn't it? He's got a teddy bear.
Tiffany boxes.
Tiffany boxes.
Those Tiffany boxes?
Now, at the party,
they're blue.
I'm just going to bring out the party photos. See that thing in the back by the beer? That's one of those things that you smoke. You blow that stuff with bubbles in it and smoke. What do they call it? They have them in Egypt. So that's the kitchen. So, because I've got photos of this stuff. I've forgotten what they're called.
Those are Tiffany boxes, and that is his kitchen, and that is a hookah and a teddy bear. And...
Hookah, that's what you call them. Now we had, where did we get these photos from? I think I've got videos of his party he had last week. Okay, so let's go back here. Okay, so I've got the photos. So we've got these. Look at this. Shut up. I'm going to get done for music. So these photos here are actually in CoffeeZilla's video. I didn't realize you used my videos, but that's why I got them, I suppose. But we've got parties. Look at this here. Oh, shut up. This music's going to kill me. But I've even forgot that we had these ones. Oh yeah, I think this is somebody else's car. Oh, that's Mike washing his car, is it? Thank you for the person that gave me that video. Yeah, but we did have photos of the party last week, but I haven't actually put them in the right place. But this is one of the favourites. All right, and this is the night where we reckon there was $100,000 spent on alcohol. So he's definitely blown it away. But the Patrick Ben David one, that's the best one because that shows Christopher trying to promote what he does. And he didn't even explain what he did very well. But I can't find it anyway. Let's carry on. But lavish parties, lavish lifestyle marketing. And obviously this isn't somebody who's trying to save their company. This is somebody who's trying to live the lifestyle and show off to all their friends, their riches that have stolen money from people. These are victims' boxes.
Homes, and other luxury items.
What do you have to give these victims to make them whole or partially whole?
I came to take full responsibility for my actions. I came to give them the answers they need. And in doing so, I've turned over everything. I notified the DOJ of my international accounts and surrendered those accounts willingly.
Bullshit. I'm the one that dobbed you in, you idiot. I'm the one that picked up the phone and rang Homeland Security and spoke to John, my mate. This is, you only handed yourself in, not because you'd stuffed up, only because you realized you've been chased down.
Yeah, the records we have also show Goliath Ventures donated about $5.1 million to charity, schools, and foundations across our area.
Now, remember I said at the start here, and this is certainly my own words and no one else's, that I believe that this interview was done conditionally. And I believe Chris wanted to knock some people down. And this is part of them grooming us for the next video.
We have confirmed, Martha and Greg, some have actually received subpoenas related to those funds, and the feds, as you can imagine, have a lot of questions.
They may claw back some of that money.
Time will...
Yeah, $5 million of it.
We'll tell. We'll continue to follow this and see where all of this leads.
But for right now, he stays in the house for right now.
For right now.
Excellent report. Another report Thursday. All right. Good job.
I'm just saying that reporter.
Is she looking to buy the house?
I'm thinking she's going to knock on his door and go, It was more like, oh, I'm going to go visit him. He's there now. Can I go stay in the spare room?
Thanks.
Thank you. All right.
All right. There is.
I just want to hit on a point here because I don't want to forget this.
Yep.
She talks about the alleged co-conspirators. What I found really disturbing after some of these videos had aired, she actually said on her Instagram, alleged victims. Are they alleged? Are they alleged victims? I don't think so.
She might use ChatGPT because I have this battle with ChatGPT. I did just before I come live, and I'm telling it not to use the word alleged because, like I said, I don't want to come across as, I put everything in this, and I mean, if I get myself in trouble for saying it's an alleged Ponzi scheme, we work out that, Christopher was running a legitimate company, and Christopher gets out scot-free, and everyone gets their money back, I'd be happy to be sued, but it's not going to happen. I mean, yeah, like you say, they're not alleged victims. They are victims. Whether they get their money back, they're stuck. There's no money there. I can show you where the money's gone. Like it's, look, there's another thing going on here that people don't realize. Why we're screaming co-conspirators is because we're watching them drive around in Rolls Royces, Lamborghinis. One guy is I thought he owned the house, but he's paying, I thought it was $20,000, but I've been corrected. It's $13,000 a month for his rental. And it's a mansion similar to Chris's. And he's currently living in Dubai. He's just been subpoenaed. What's his last name? Mike
Shimluski.
Shimluski. I'm going to remember your name one day, Shimluski. If you don't get a hard time on me, it's only because I can't remember your name.
That was pretty good, Admiral.
I just can't remember.
Say that again.
Shimluski. I always think Shimluskis. But he's currently in Dubai and he's been subpoenaed. But he's also doesn't look like he's coming back. If you didn't know this, investigators, because he's trying to get out of the lease for his house. And I said, he's paying $20,000 a month for the house. And they said, no, it's $13,000. $13,000 for a house to rent to look like you're the man. Now, that guy come to Orlando, had no money, on video, claims he was utterly broke, not a grass razoo to his name. And it was only when he met Christopher, he became the man. And now he's over in Dubai claiming that he's providing, like he's one of those crypto successful men telling people how to buy low and, buy low and sell high on crypto and then you make money? But what I'm getting at is there's all these people that had no money, like Steve Davis, a fireman that claimed to be a fire chief. Then he's bought himself a business and he's trying to get that going. And all these guys like Tomo are using the money they've got from Goliath to set themselves up in their own businesses. But we want people to start looking at these businesses that they own. The IRS, go and check out the monies. It doesn't add up. I can tell you it doesn't. Like, we've heard rumors, and we can't confirm this, but I heard rumors that Tomo was getting $500,000 a month from working with Goliath. That's ridiculous. I can't tell you exactly because I'll blow my cover on my people, but imagine the office cleaner getting paid $80,000 a month for doing office cleaning. That's what they were paying people to keep this monster going. We've got stories coming out, the lavish spending. I can't even, I'd have to sit here and go through all our notes. Thousands and thousands of correspondence from many members. And even afterwards, we got people that, I had one guy, I can't even tell you how much, it's very awkward talking about this, but it's like his whole life savings, all his family money, everything the whole family had worked for years, professional, millions and millions and millions of dollars. And he put it all into Goliath. And I contacted him, I think it was on either the 7th, 11th or the 21st, I can't quite remember, September. Oh, he reached out to me because he was worried it was a scam. And I said, yes, it definitely is a scam. And he stayed in it. And now I've talked to that guy on the phone and he said, I wish I listened to you. It was months afterwards. And so what I was actually, before I got on my high horse, what I was trying to say is a lot of people actually made money out of this as well. people put money in and got great money and took it out and then went away because they started realizing it was a scam. So all the people that realized I was blowing it as a scam were withdrawing their money, making money, and then keeping their mouth shut. So not everyone's lost. And that's maybe a reason why a lot of people aren't coming forward, because they might have put 100,000 on it. They may have got 120 back. I'm lucky, it's all right for me, but they should actually keep that $20,000 or hand it back to the investigators. And remember, we've got a list of, hopefully they've got the full list. We've got a list of quite a few people that were involved, and, as time goes on, a lot of people will be forced to come out of their hiding places. And if you don't, we'll find you. Alrighty, last video. And then we're going to go through a blog and tell you the questions that we felt that Darlene should have asked. I'll say it again. I do believe that these interviews were conditional. And I think that's what really pisses me off about them, is the fact that Chris actually got to have a voice and they gave him the microphone. And I don't think it's right. And I'll have to stand by how I feel about it, because I've been involved with this more than most probably.
At any point, did you ever sit and say, like, man, I am donating to charities?
New tonight, we are now learning an alleged Ponzi scheme operating right here in Central Florida may have as many as 1,500 victims, and their loss may have been as much as $500 million.
Some of that money was donated.
See, it's gone up from 328 million. And out of all the videos, this one here pisses me off the most, because they've picked the wrong company to spotlight. And it really does piss me off. They could have done 10 times better. And I'm just...
Donated to charities, schools, and even political campaigns, big and small. Channel 9 anchor Daralene Jones has documents following that money. She's live here in the studio with us. Darlene, you have court records to show that they've actually received subpoenas.
Yes, Martha and Greg. Charities, organizations, politicians have received these subpoenas because Goliath Ventures is now in voluntary bankruptcy. And the receiver wants to see financial records and other documents from the groups to piece together what individuals knew about the money received and what can be done to recoup this money to repay investors.
I have to love this. They're actually reading it like it's breaking news. And it's like, this is yesterday's newspaper to me.
Goliath Ventures is no longer in operation and in the hands of a receiver based in South Florida. But before its CEO, Christopher Delgado, was arrested back in February on a federal criminal complaint, documents we obtained show, and Delgado admits to us, the company used other people's money to donate at least $5.1 million to this.
So I'll say what they're not saying is most, if not all, that money, like the Orlando Economic Partners, went to charity, but Christopher gave them $200,000 to have his banner on their website. And we sent emails to 37 people in that company and got deaf ears. And they kept that advert going right until the day he was handed himself in. But it's just, most of these companies they're listing here will actually have to hand this money back and probably be forced to, and can probably get the money back. So I'm saying $4.5 million of this money is probably able to go back, because these guys are kind of the innocent parties. And if they are lucky enough to be able to hand the money back, they'll get it clawed back. But this is disgusting, because this is charities that do good for the community. And here they are having to give that money back. They would have already divvied up that money for things.
Long list of organizations across Central Florida. Some of the largest donations.
Now, look at this here. I don't even know Real Estate Equity and Funding who that is. But Ben David Consulting, Patrick Ben David Consulting. All right? And then you've got Kids Bearing Cancer. And then they've got Runway to Hope, Orange Christian School, Victoria's Voice Foundation. Now, which one do you think they're going to feature there on this clip? So, Patrick Ben David.
Should be, but David Consulting.
Well, none of these people were promoting Goliath Ventures. Maybe not quite. Patrick Ben David is a motivational.
They were the only ones that did.
Well, they had him on the stage telling them what he was doing to raise money. And Patrick Ben David, we've done articles about him. So they've got the footage. We could have given them the videos, and they could have highlighted Patrick Ben David. And also,
They had
Patrick
a
Ben
booth
David's
set
got
up in
this.
their exhibitors hall.
Well,
There was a booth.
he literally got $500,000 worth of merch. I've got the receipt. of $400,000 worth of merchandise that was purchased by Goliath Ventures for their corporate gifts. And that was from Sanjay. And Sanjay has been subpoenaed. But we've got the receipt for $400,000. Now, I don't know how I can tell you this, but that receipt was a backhander, in my opinion. The cost of the goods that we can't even prove had been delivered, well, we know there's a container load of them, but I'm going to tell you this story, but if it was a genuine invoice, and we'll say if, it would have only cost them $100,000 for the goods, and I've got verifiable proof of that. That means $300,000 of that was a backhander. That's one set of merch. The other set of merch was when they did that was for the Patrick Ben David concert. So he paid $1 million for naming rights and bought $400,000 worth of merch for that event. And he had a booth there and he was giving out bags of goodies and all that sort of carry on. The next one was for, I think, the night, the party that he had, where he blew $5 million on the Christmas party. And they got another lot of merch. And that's my mate who bought the container, has got all the merch because he's got all the casino chips and the like in the merch. He's got boxes and boxes filling up his living room and his garage. So that's 2 lots of merch. I'm just going to say $1 million worth just on merch. That was now throwaway material because it's got their friggin' logo all over it. But the $1 million given to Patrick Ben David would have been a brilliant example because all the co-conspirators are at that event raring Christopher on. And this journalism is meant to be all about saying there's co-conspirators involved. So why would you put a video up of Runway to Hope and Mark Najeeb's, one person on the stage with Christopher, him talking about Christopher, when he could have put Patrick Ben David and all the co-conspirators that were raving on about Goliath Ventures? And that's where they've gone wrong here. And that's why I think this interview was conditional, because he's obviously got a beef with Mark. And this shows it. And that's what I just want to say, because this whole video, it pisses me off. That's me.
Here's
you go.
Here's what this is what I have an issue with. They have this list. Daralene talks about at the beginning charities, but the very first 2 on this list are not charities. They're commercial.
Yeah.
Bet David Consulting is definitely not a charity. And whatever they had there for real estate equity,
what is that?
That was probably who knows? I have no idea.
You don't know across Central Florida.
I'll just bring that up again.
Some of the largest.
Yeah. So I've never seen this. Now this is quite funny because half the people were in Remax. A lot of the promoters like Vince Griata. Also, there was another guy that was a realtor as well.
Marty Bertelmer was a realtor.
Yep.
Vince Grata was a realtor. Punit Shaw.
Wonder if these are payments. I don't know, but that one there, I'd love to look more into real estate equity and funding, because it could have been, to make a good Ponzi scheme, if you want to start one up, you've got to get inside all these communities, and that's what Chris has done really, really well. So I'm wondering what community the real estate one was, where he thought it was worthwhile him giving $1 million to, so he could get in the door, in his foot in the door, you know. He would have made a great Jehovah's Witness, this guy. He would have gotten your door, even if you said you're not interested. You know what I'm saying? All right. Anyway, so I think we've made our point now. Let's watch what they did wrong. And I tell you what, guys, I'll be right about this, because I know it's wrong what they've done here.
Donations went to Equity Estates, Bet David Consulting, Kids Beating Cancer, Runway to Hope, Orangewood Christian.
Hold it. Orangewood Christian School. We emailed them. We told them they still have banners on their fields promoting Goliath Ventures. Why are they doing this? Get crickets. They don't even write back to us.
And Victoria's Voice in May of...
Victoria's Voice. Is that, no, that's another one, isn't it? Because remember he went to the White House and he stood up.
Yes.
And he, Jackie Seagulls, is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And he pledged $2 million to their charity. And he did pay, theoretically, $250,000 towards it. And that was for Fentanyl Day. And then when he took all the photos of the president and Kash Patel and all those sort of ones, a week later it was Crypto Day. And he used the same photos and did posts on his social media, which he's now scrubbed from the internet, sort of alleging that they were there for Crypto Day. And they weren't. They were there for Fentanyl Day. And we heard rumours, we don't know if they're true, that he paid like $250,000 to get himself inside the White House. just so he could wave himself around. So anyway.
Last year, Goliath was the title sponsor for Runway to Hope's signature event.
Chris Delgado, their CEO, thank you for all your support over these last few years, and we appreciate you greatly. We appreciate your team greatly. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
So at that event, I know firsthand that Christopher pledged to be the sponsor for the following year and pay more money, as he's about to say. And then because something went pear-shaped, they all got up and walked out of that event. The next year event, they had the front table, and then they all got up and walked out to protest at something that Mark did. And that's why I believe they're pissed off with Mark. And I reckon this is all staged. I don't even think this should be on here. So I think this is disgusting. Darlene, I don't know what deal or what you were trying to accomplish by throwing this charity under here. Yes, they did receive money from, Goliath Ventures, but you would have done better if you used the real Patrick Ben David clip. And also you would have had a chance to show off all the co-conspirators who are now sweating because of their involvement as well. This is not right.
And if you want to be presenting sponsors
next...
Sorry?
You think about the size of Runway to Hope, and then you think about the size of Bet David Consulting, Valuetainment, Patrick Bet David Loan.
Yeah.
Now,
I've been here. I've been in this hall. I know where it is. 20,000 people were at Patrick Ben David's. This is 3,000 people. So there's I don't know what you pay to go to Patrick Ben David's Vault 2025 concert, wherever it was, but yeah. And this is a charity, and this is helping people with kids. And the really sad thing here, guys, is after you're going to see her telling everyone that they actually support this charity.
Year, price is going up.
9 Investigates confirmed through court records that all of the charities and organizations have received subpoenas for financial records and other communication, along with the Republican Party of Florida, which Delgado donated $25,000 to in 2024, and newly elected Apopka Mayor Nick Nesta, who revealed on social media earlier this year that he sold homes to Delgado. The receiver working through a bankruptcy filing to find out how much of the money can be salvaged to help repay investors. We're learning through those court filings there could be up to 1,500 people out of at least $500 million, much more than the $328 million cited in that criminal complaint.
At any point, did you ever sit and say, like, man, I am donating to charities, and like all of this is not my money?
It wasn't that thought process because we were building something.
Well, educate us. What were you building? I've investigated for 8 months, mate. I don't know what you were trying to build. I see no money coming in other than investors' money. Nothing. Hey, thanks for the nice comment.
So, Danny, why didn't she ask? Why didn't he ask what he was building?
Oh, because investigative journalism means that you don't ask those questions because you don't want them to squirm. It's like, come on. Yeah, come on. I would have been there, and I would love to have an interview with you, Chris. Or Darlene, if you want me to come over, I'll go over there on my own dime if I have to. And I don't need to go business class, but I wouldn't mind. But what I'm saying is I would like to sit here and ask questions because I think I've heard, because I've speak to other people that have interviewed Chris, right? And they've told me that he's quite good on camera. So you could have actually asked him some interesting curly questions just to see if you get a reaction, Or did he tell you what questions to ask him? Because that's what it seems like. And I know you've got 4 more videos coming out. Haven't you got 7? I'm not sure. But if you have got more videos coming out, I hope this is just a teaser to piss people off because you've done that. It really has upset people. I mean, unfortunately, I've heard, and I can't verify this, but somebody have already, couldn't, the detrimental effects of these investments is I don't even know how to say it without saying it, but we've heard that somebody's already died by suicide because of their involvement with Goliath Ventures. So these Ponzi schemes and scams are killers, and, I don't believe that this interview helped any investor who may be struggling right now, knowing that, I on CoffeeZilla's video, I told the day I got told that Christopher had been charged was 2 days after I got back from America. And I just got off the phone to a lady in Canada who had invested $100,000 with Goliath Ventures. And in the interim, she had sold her house, decided to put all her house money into Goliath Ventures while she was between houses, and also put some credit card money in there as well. And then it fell over and she lost everything. Now, I'm not flash on money, and I've been struggling for quite a long time. I can't imagine what it would be like losing everything in a heartbeat. I've been draining my money slowly while I've been investigating this. But people have lost lots of money that they couldn't afford to lose, and that's detrimental. And I don't think this interview helped anybody in any which way or form. This is rubbing salt in the wound for those people that are already hurting. And this is not right. You said at the start of your videos that you wanted to put these videos on here to give accountability. This is not a guy that's given accountability. These questions are just crap, and this is shit reporting.
We were almost there.
Federal
Almost where? What do you mean by that? Oh.
Investigators say Delgado and his co-conspirators solicited investors under false and fraudulent promises of monthly returns, which were sometimes presented as guaranteed or low risk. Investors signing these agreements were required to come to the table with at least $100,000 to.
And we interviewed the lawyer who put these contracts together. He was a defense lawyer called Eric Clayman. Would have been a good thing to say.
Get into what they thought was a cryptocurrency investment, earning about 3 to 8% each month.
What did you say to people to convince them to give you their money?
I didn't say anything. I've never solicited a dollar into Goliath. No, I have been asked to go to dinners.
We've talked to a couple dozen investors, none willing to go on camera, but some told us they didn't get the pitch about Goliath from Delgado, and some had never met him.
Do you think your presence at these meetings, at the dinners, pressured people or made them feel more comfortable to give the money?
I think it was both. You know, at the time, Goliath was like the cool kids club. If you lived in Orlando or if you lived in Windermere or Dr. Phillips and you weren't part of
Goliath. Stop it there. That's Steve Davis, and I've spoke to him on the phone. He come on my one of my broadcasts once. Go through my YouTube videos, look up for Steve Davis. He is not a nice guy, I can tell you that now. Very sarcastic, condescending, but apparently he will light your cigar for you if you want. They're actually on a golf course, which they were doing a charity event at, which is at the back door of Chris's house. Chris was not allowed to have a membership on that golf course. That tells you how much the community loved Chris. That would have been an extra wee tippet.
Goliath, it was weird.
Delgado claims early investor money did go into a cryptocurrency fund in Dubai, but it grew quickly and ended up frozen. He claims Goliath could.
Well, give us the wallet address.
See the money, but couldn't move it and never saw it again. The problem is Goliath continued taking on new investors and their money, paying out returns with the early investors' cash. Those returns were guaranteed in these contracts. Delgado says he was buying time until he could get his own cryptocurrency fund going.
Why? I don't understand. I don't understand this entire segment.
New donation from someone.
Thank you, somebody. Whoever that somebody is.
Thank you, someone.
Thank you. Oh, my goodness.
And that didn't happen, he says, until later in 2024.
I had held at that point $15-16 million into our.
But the investor fund still.
Now, we did find, I think, 15 million in crypto somewhere. You did a deep dive yourself, didn't you, Suze? And I think
it was only about 3 million, not 15.
Right.
About
I
3
made that
million.
up. Yeah. No, but for a crypto company, you know, 328 million, and there's 3 million in crypto. Come on. And don't forget, the money was meant to be coming from doing crypto liquidity pools, which just about is mathematical impossible. And also, did you ever see Chris working? And did you ever see his offices set up where they had the people working that were doing the liquidity pool? It must have been in Dubai because no one saw the offices in Dubai. And there was also something else really strange too. Yeah, I can't remember what it was now. It just went in and out of my brain. But there's nothing.
The fact that he said he never solicited anybody, that's total that's a total falsehood. It's a lie.
Well, he was the PR guy. What was that charity event he went to that Sanjay used to that helped to put it together? And they're making up meals. And
Oh, it's for the Indian American Chamber of Commerce.
yeah, and he
Yeah.
donated 45,000 meals, but he turned up at the event apparently in his Lamborghini and sat outside revving the guts up of his Lamborghini to show off this Lamborghini, which, you know, if you really want to give to charity, sell the Lamborghini and give the proceeds of the money to the charity, which just would be good. But it was all about showing off his wealth and lifestyle marketing, because all these Ponzi schemers that we go after are all about lifestyle marketing, and that's truly what they are doing. And they're telling people basically, if you hang out with us, you're going to have the wealth that we have. It's the oldest textbook in the world, really. All right, let's carry on.
Weren't going into.
They were going in a little at a time of what the company could spare.
What the company could spare?
The purpose of the company wasn't about marketing and everything. It was about what we could spare from our lifestyle marketing, we would put into the company to generate the returns that the investors were told they were getting. I mean, unreal what we could spare. I mean, I do get, it was Coffee has said to me that, you know, Darlene's done a good job at exposing him. I mean, I do agree with that side of it. I mean, I watch Judge Judy, and I promise you, every night I go to bed, I watch Judge Judy. And one thing she says is, "How do you know when a child's lying? Their lips are moving." And every word that comes out of Christopher's mouth here that she gets him talking, Chris just condemns himself by opening his mouth. And if she was hoping that
New
she was just going
donation from Lisa Parisi.
Lisa Parisi, thank you very much. But what I'm getting at is here, when you think about this, everything he says that comes out of his mouth is wrong. It exposes him. But I've already exposed him, and my team's already exposed him. So we're sort of used to it at the moment. So he doesn't need any more exposing, but he doesn't need to be in front of the camera. That's what I'm really upset about.
Because you were still trying to play catch up.
Yeah.
Catch up, yeah.
So if we had $1 million or $2 million extra, we would move it into the fund, you know.
Delgado told us.
If we had $1 million or $2 million, we'd move it into the fund, and then we'd party up like there's no tomorrow.
As he knows he's going.
Hey, let's have a look at the assets here. Is this his office? So what's he got here? He's got a picture on the wall of a big Bitcoin, which we
Is
can't
that
see.
an FBI hat?
Oh my
It's an
God.
FBI hat.
Do you know where he got that from? Cash Patel. Now, I can't tell you how I know this, but Chris was telling a friend of his that he's got Cash Patel in the bag. And he said that the FBI, he's not worried about anything going down because he's got the FBI in the bag. And maybe that's his FBI. He got that hat from the White House. So that is a bit of a staged, it must be staged. FBI hat.
It's definitely staged. Come on now.
Water
They
bottles.
purposely put that in the shot.
Nah, that computer screen. I tell you what, I have a bit of, that computer screen is an insult to anyone. Unless it's not a Mac screen, is it? It is a Mac. Oh, maybe it's a Mac screen. Maybe it's a 5,000 DPI Mac screen, because that's a bit of an insult for somebody with his wealth. Maybe he doesn't get into computers. I mean, after all, he is on the computers doing liquidity pool trading all the time.
All of his stuff was seized
New
from his
donation from
host,
Dorian
remember?
Mercado.
Dory Mercado. Thank you very much for your donations. Really
Thank you,
supportive.
Dory.
Dory. These names, we're investigators, right? Every time we see a name, we think, who's that? So
To prison, leaving behind all.
Oh, see, this is staged. I mean, I'll tell you now, like people thought I was bankrolled with this investigation, and I have never received anyone paying me to investigate Goliath Ventures. No one has bankrolled me into this, not one person. All right? He's fallen out with Mark James. I always get his name wrong, but to have these photos with the runway to hope in there, that's staged. That's not fair. I don't think there's no reason for Chris to have a picture of him on the stage. That's set up. I think that's bullshit.
Of the accolades from the charities and organizations, and the luxurious lifestyle he built with other people's money, including this $8 million mansion in Isleworth,
$8.5 million mansion.
the Lamborghini in the garage.
What is that Lamborghini anyway? Is it a Hurricane? And is it? I've never seen him in a yellow one before. Oh no, I have. Yes, he was taking Yes, I've heard that he had a yellow Lamborghini. Interesting. Yes, I do remember now.
And a long list of other high-end items he's been ordered to preserve.
So we want to be fully transparent with our viewers and acknowledge that WFTV is a sponsor for Runway to Hope, which is this Saturday.
This is the stupid thing. I mean, you highlight a sponsor that you theoretically, like the general manager the manager of FWTV is going to be at the Runway to Hope event that's happening tonight. Probably, tonight in Orlando, right? So they've decided to focus on the wrong person here and then drive the point home telling them that they're also a sponsor of the charity. They're trying to me, it looks like they're throwing Mark under the bus, and that's not right.
Our investigation, though, will continue. Some organizations told us the money is simply gone. So we'll have to see how or if there is an avenue to get it back. We do know for sure 3 of the 6 organizations you just heard about who received those large donations have set that money aside, have already returned it, or have pledged to return it.
Why not name them?
Runway to Hope issued.
Why did she say that? Why did she say it was all of the organizations? Because not all of them on that list were charities.
Yeah. So Patrick Ben David's given the money back. Is that one of the ones? Yeah. And I know, like I've had correspondence with, I've talked to Mark, and he's happy to give all the money back. He said it will hurt their charity. I've talked to everybody. When we saw all the charities that they were advertising on their website, I contacted every single one of those charities and said, do you realize that you are on the homepage of Goliath Ventures website? And we reached out to, I think there was 15 charities. I think we got 3 emails back, and I'll tell you, one of them was Runway to Hope. Another one had their banner on there, and they emailed us, said, we've never received any donation from Goliath Ventures. And we went, oh, really? And then a couple of hours later, I got another email saying they did manage to find a $300 donation given 2 years ago. And then, so it looked like they were passing off people's charities' names. And on their website, they claimed to have given away, I think it was $4 million worth of money in charities, or $1 million, can't remember now. It's still on their website if you go to the Wayback Machine. But obviously, the charities are the ones that hurt. And to focus, Patrick Ben David, I think he's a multi-millionaire. I don't think Runway for Hope or all the other kids' cancer ones are actually living the dream. So to pick on a charity that would hurt, obviously, and they've already offered to give the money back once they found out what's happened, and then not to pick on Patrick Ben David. Maybe they're scared that Patrick Ben David would sue them. I don't know. I think it's disgusting. I think you picked the wrong one to focus on, but maybe that was part of the conditions of interviewing Chris, because maybe Mark made it hard for you. I don't know. I'm just assuming, I'm surmising, and I can do what I like because I'm an independent journalist. And apparently, I'm not a professional reporter.
This statement to Eyewitness News tonight. Our organization, along with dozens of other Central Florida nonprofits.
I've never seen this part. So he's even got, this is focusing on Mark. This is disgusting. So what have we got? Our organizer, alongside dozens of other Central Florida nonprofits, received in good faith charitable donations 23 through to 24 Goliath Ventures. Oh my God. Oh, you really are just going after him. It's a witch hunt.
Received in good faith
Bullshit.
Charitable donations in 2023 and 2024 from Goliath Ventures. We have voluntarily disclosed all contributions and will continue to cooperate. Our focus remains on supporting our children and families battling pediatric cancer throughout Central Florida. And our
Oh, that's disgusting. I just can't actually believe that you're focusing on the wrong person. And then you've got somebody who is telling you they're going to do the right thing, and you've published that as well. Go for it.
hearts go out to all individuals who may have been affected by this sad situation.
It is a sad situation.
And Darlene, you also confirmed in the last few hours, I know your phone has been blowing.
Well, I'm just going to say, you know, you got what you want, haven't you? You got your interview, haven't you? You did it. You managed to get it over the line. You managed to get an interview with Christopher Delgado, and you did it conditionally, I believe. And it's breathtaking to see what lengths you will do to get a story. Now, when we were about to listen to this here, we were also getting the subpoenas that are going out at the moment. Christopher, you've pissed off a lot of people in the. So we got told by a defense lawyer that Christopher will be indicted within the next 48 hours, and that was 2 days ago. So I'll stand by that. He said because of his actions, he's now going to get indicted. Because you, I don't know how to explain that, but you have actually you've shot one over the bow, like they're doing. You by doing this interview, you've stirred up some shit that you probably don't realize you're going to get. Now, what she's about to say, she's going to say that her phone is blowing up because all these subpoenas are going out to all these. I think you've just put a target on everyone's back. You've done it, Chris.
Up that the feds appear to be speeding up the criminal case now.
Yeah, really, this has been happening all week since our first report on Monday. There have been subpoenas issued to several former Goliath employees and top executives, some also friends and close to those in the Goliath Ventures organization. Some of those subpoenas being issued just within the last few hours, Greg.
In fact, your phone was blowing
Yeah.
up right now as you were speaking.
Yeah.
So things are happening quickly with this, as you said.
All right, great work, Darlene. Thank you.
Well, there you go, kids. Oh, I don't know if you want any more 2 cents worth in that. Do you want a game of pool, Suze? She's on mute.
Sorry, say that again.
Do you want to have a game of pool? It's your turn. You got 20 cents?
Oh, my gosh, not on this table. Sorry, I'm going to have to move to the next.
Yeah, but it's one of 2 tables. So as I said at the start, I've got 2 tables. There's 2 Louis Vuitton tables, and we know who owns the second one. It's probably Nick Petrillo, but we were going to actually make it a bit of a game. And I was going to actually, I better not put that screen up there. Hold it. What I was going to do, I'll just bring it up. I was going to
We
go
know
there.
where the second table is, right?
Yeah, we do. We're
Yeah.
going to make it a game.
Yeah.
And we're going to bring up these guys here. And we're going to say to you guys, we can't do a big, 52% of people, I was just doing the poll. What was missing most from the WFTV? I hate that name. What the fuck? Should need a T in it. WFTV Christopher Delgado interview. Actual hard questions. Follow the money. Less mention, more facts. CoffeeZilla as co-host. Yeah, that would have been good. That's true. So anyway, so these are the people that we believe are co-conspirators. These are people that were at every event that we monitored. These are people like, even if we picked on the less character one here, we've got Gary Rice. So Gary Rice has been filming all these co-conspirators, and he's got hard drives full of people giving testimonials about things like, I won't even go there. But everyone in here, Eric Clayman, these are all people that helped grow Goliath Ventures. And like we do when we're busting all our other scams, these scams don't grow. As Christopher said, he never, ever pitched himself, so he says. So if he never pitched himself, how did it grow? It grew because these guys that you're looking at here were promoting it. I mean, if we just pick on Tomo here for a wee while, his brother introduced a $400,000 investor. His mother does the accounts at Rejuvenational Clinic. So they all handle the money. And if you researched Tomo's companies, you would see the money coming in. There's more money. There's not more money coming in from his business. All the money he's funding his business from seems to have come from Goliath Ventures. So why not start investigating that? You know, we've got Alex, who's a personal trainer, driving around in a Lamborghini, for God's sake. He got fired once for working for Chris, forgot to take Chris's jacket when they went on a Learjet somewhere once. But he's rehired him at one stage. We've got his name on an invoice for $400,000 where he bought the merch. So they're actively involved in running. And they were all labelled as partners. If you go through all the court documents like we have, these partners had no control over the company. So it was just a label. They used to be called executives. And as he said in the videos, he wasn't wrong, that these guys were receiving a shit ton of money for their activities. And that's where your money's gone. So any of these guys in these pictures, if they're driving around in flash cars, a lot of these guys had no money before they met Chris. So any of the wealth that they've got now needs to be seized. And I got told by a lawyer guy that these guys probably won't go to prison. However, they will be paying back the debt that they've taken from people for years. So, you know, I don't know how it works, but I don't think we're halfway through it yet. I think there's a lot more to come, which is quite exciting. But look, before I did this, I actually published a blog. If you haven't been on my website, theheck.com, I've got over 500 blogs promoting different Ponzi schemes and scams. And you can see, obviously, we've been on CoffeeZilla recently. It's absolutely amazing. If you haven't checked out that blog, I actually went to America, not to visit CoffeeZilla, but I said to CoffeeZilla while I was in America, I don't have any money. And I said, but if you want to, I can take a detour on the way home. He paid for my flights and my accommodation and fed me. And we had a great time together. But I went to CoffeeZilla's $10 million studio, and it was a blast. We have a common interest. He's a friggin' brilliant investigative reporter. And his video, I don't even know, I think it's up to 2.6 million views in 3 days, in the first 3 days. And he really has told the truth. There's nothing in there that I sit there and cringe. There's nothing in there that I don't believe is 100% true and genuine. And it takes a lot more risks for people like me and him to put out a story like that. And if you watch that video, you'll see that he was contemplating whether to do the story as well. He's already got, is it Logan Paul trying to sue him? And, you know, I had 7 lawsuits last year in the last 18 months. You know, it is a real concern. But I do believe that we tell the real story. Even if Daralene Jones is going to tell people on the phone that she doesn't want to talk to me because she doesn't believe I'm a real journalist, then that person on the phone said to you, didn't they, Darlene? Well, he was the one that actually exposed the story. So why wouldn't you want to speak to him on the phone? I mean, it's ridiculous. Anyway, what I'm getting at, there's a whole blog here with with my breakdown, my journey to America. I've even put it out now as a podcast, and you can read all about real journalism versus whatever journalism they're doing at WFTV.
WFTV.
Anyway,
don't forget the Voidzilla channel.
the what?
And what is the
Oh, right.
Voidzilla?
Actually, I'll find
He
that.
did
Look,
on
yeah. So if we go to, if you search for CoffeeZilla on Google, I'll get the spelling right now. Both CoffeeZilla and I do share a common interest. We're both in Wikipedia, which is quite nice. But you can go to CoffeeZilla's channel here. But if you come down here enough, he's in Wikipedia. I think he's got another one called, oh, doesn't it come up when you search for it? I can't spell it. Hold it. How do you spell it?
V.
V.
You should just go to YouTube and search it.
Oh, there it is.
It's easier to search.
I got it. Look at that. Voidzilla, is it? Voidzilla?
Yeah.
All right. I think we should watch this together, shouldn't we? Because I think that might be a good idea. 500,000 views. Man, Coffee.
I thought it was good.
Yeah. I think we should watch it. I think I want to read my blog because it's, you know, but I think this would be far better. Just close this window over here and drag this one over to another window. But please do, you know, support Coffee. I mean, this is the thing, as independent journalist doesn't pay. But when I met Coffee, I went to his house, I met his family. I even he asked me what I wanted to drink. And I said, oh, do you drink coffee? And he said, I'm called CoffeeZilla. I went, oh, yeah. So, but he's a hell of a nice guy.
Special. He agreed.
And he's not living a high life. He didn't have a Lamborghini parked in the garage. It's just normal guy. Reasonable house, not over the top, no lavish anything, you know, and yeah, and a $10 million studio. Oh yeah. But anyway, I'll let you do that. That's good. All right, so let's have a look at this one. And he's my mate. He's good. We hugged.
The worst guy you know just made a big mistake. Recently, we exposed a $300 million scam called Goliath Ventures on CoffeeZilla just a couple days ago. And the CEO has just now decided to do a tell-all interview with a news company. And here's the exact moment I knew I was in for something special.
He agreed to speak with me without even telling his attorneys.
He's speaking to the press without talking to his lawyers. I mean, I don't know if you know this, but that is the shortcut to giving your defense attorney a heart attack.
He told me he knows he is going to prison for a long time.
Look, yes, he's definitely going to jail regardless. But this gives the prosecutors a slam dunk case, and it's gonna make the options for a plea agreement, in my view, way harder. So the obvious question is, why do this? It's pretty clear once you start watching the interview. He thinks he's going to convince everyone that he was just kind of a guy with good intentions.
Are you ready to take responsibility?
That was the whole point of this, was not only to show people and to tell people, from beginning to end what had happened, but to allow me to tell them directly from me how sorry I am.
That's right, he's trying to hit you with the old razzle-dazzle. The same guy who sued a journalist who rightfully called him out for running a scam, the same guy who's been lying for years to investors and lost them all of their money by running a
I think he was talking about me.
Ponzi scheme until the exact moment he got arrested, is now saying, hey guys, really sorry about that. And it's gonna backfire spectacularly in this interview. But before we get to that, I wanna get into the psychology of Christopher Delgado. This is the same guy who says he has a gift for people being attracted to him.
My God-given gift was that people are attracted to me. People just naturally gravitate towards me.
Little does he know that's because he was offering something that was...
Did you notice that he had
donation from Rez.
Thank you, Riz. That's awesome. Did you realize that he had Patrick Ben David's clip on there and didn't use Runway for Hope?
Too good to be true. But this reporter, Daralene Jones, I have to give her the biggest shout out. I mean, she did an incredible job teasing out of this guy all of these amazing moments. And a lot of it is not like something he says. It's just how he carries himself. This interview comes off so unhinged because we are going to be doing the tell-all I'm sorry interview from a mansion.
He's wearing an ankle monitor confined to his 11,000 square foot estate, bought last year with Goliath Investors cash.
Like literally from a mansion, when your constituents, the victims of your scam, can't even afford groceries, right? Lost everything they have. And you're saying sorry from an 11,000 square foot home.
Inside of his $8 million Isleworth mansion, Christopher Delgado wears an ankle monitor right next to his Hermes sandals that retail for about $1,000. He's surrounded by luxury clothes, cars, and comfort.
This is an actual one of two Louis Vuitton pool tables.
She's doing him so dirty. Starting the interview with the Hermes sandals. He's wearing an ankle monitor next to the thing that costs $1,000. Cut to luxury car. Oh no, Chris, this was a massive, massive mistake for you, buddy. This is not a good move. This is good reporting right here. She's teasing it all out of him. She knows how this...
I don't quite agree, but I get what she's done. If you looked at the answers that the replies he's got, it does drop himself right in it. But I don't quite agree on that one. But that's okay.
She just has to stand there and act, is this your nice pool table? And he goes right along with it.
This is an actual one of two Louis Vuitton pool tables.
A friendly tip for all of you criminals out there. If you ever get caught, if a reporter is ever coming to your house and you are under charges, do not show them your one of two pool table. They don't actually care. It is not the time to be showing them your gold-rimmed Lamborghini. If you're interviewing me and I just did a $300 million Ponzi scheme, you're gonna interview me from a box, okay? I ain't gonna be from my house. No. Meet me under the bridge. We're not gonna be shooting pool at a one of two Louis Vuitton billiards table. Now, some of you might be wondering, why? Why not brag about what he has? Well, obviously, it looks bad from the perspective of the people who have nothing because of this guy. But also, and just way more to the point, it makes it much harder to answer questions like this one.
What happened to their money that should have been sitting in an account?
Their money was being used to make distributions.
To who?
To either them or other investors.
And what else did you use the money for?
I mean,
That's right.
We used it for corporate events. We used it for personal spend.
Brother, you are sitting in the place where everyone's money was spent. The problem with showing first your Lamborghini and one of two pool tables is when they ask you, well, where did the money go? You can't really say, well, I sent it to Joe and Bob. You're literally surrounded by the wealth of other people that doesn't belong to you. And we see this all the time. I try to tell people, do not flex online. Okay, if you're gonna commit crime, I feel like this is a masterclass on criminal PR. It's not supposed to be. When you see somebody fumble it this bad, you go, didn't anyone teach you this at school? I mean, I see this literally all the time. This is just a DOJ thing that happened today, okay? This is a guy named Brett Blackman, and he took a photo of himself like this. Like, you don't think someone's gonna show up to your house one day, knocking on the door, asking you questions about where the money went? And they show you this picture. Where did the money go? Like, you have no way out. I mean, where did the 11,000 square foot mansion you're sitting in that moment come from? Who thought of doing this here? And the answer, I really think, is Chris. Something that makes him so unlikable from the second he got arrested was that he continued this frame of like, I'm super rich. I mean, when he left the courthouse, originally, when he gets arrested, right? This is the big moment, Mr. I'm so sorry. He leaves the courthouse in a Rolls Royce. So he's been doing this, I'm a high roller from the get-go. So although I think this reporter did a good job of highlighting the ridiculous contrast between Chris Delgado's actions, what he was doing versus his words, I do think this is just inherent to Chris's own psychology, wanting to still be a top, wealth guy. I now want to zoom in on one of his core claims in all of this. He says that, it just happened to be a Ponzi scheme. I didn't really intend it to be a Ponzi scheme. You hear this a lot from scammers and fraudsters. They say, look, I meant well. I just lied and stole and cheated along the way.
We had so much inflow coming in, and we knew that we had the cash to cover, and we knew once our product launched that we could have right or wrong, and no one would have ever known.
The very definition of what you just described is a Ponzi scheme.
But I also think a Ponzi scheme has intent.
Oh, it's hard to watch.
Knowingly
It's hard to
raising money, knowingly building it as a fraud. That's what everyone's missing here.
No, it's not actually what we are missing. As you've seen from our own report, Christopher Delgado was already previously involved in a Ponzi scheme. He claims that, I was just going to launch my product any day now. I had to just do these Ponzi tactics on the way. When you lie about actually having a working product, when you don't put stuff in liquidity pools, when you say you are putting it in liquidity pools, that is fraud. I mean, you intentionally deceived people. Nobody is gonna feel bad for you, but especially nobody is gonna feel bad for you, thankfully, because you are out of touch. You are arrogantly parading around your wealth that literally does not belong to you. It belongs to the victims who enabled your lifestyle for so long while you said, I had great intentions. I was going to turn it around one day. For now, he will just steal your money. So I think this was a huge exposing of himself and the delusion of a guy who was chasing money at all costs, who ultimately does not have a lot of empathy for the victims here. If he did, you're not driving home from the court in a Rolls Royce, right?
The other one too is that there wasn't like a whole string of business ventures that Christopher had. This wasn't like my 12th business venture that went south. This was his only big moment. So none of this. He had nothing before he did this.
I think he was just. It's like he was using a new strategy to get funds to put into a Ponzi scheme. He was in Trader's Domain, Ponzi scheme. He was in My Liquidity Partners, Ponzi scheme. So if he was trying to chase his losses, the only thing that he could do at that point was try to convince people to give him money so he could invest it into a Ponzi scheme. I mean, what else did he do with it? Yeah, he bought all the stuff. He paid people. And he was trying to get money out. He was probably doing the same thing that we've seen for all of these other schemes and scams, where They tell you to pay something, and so then if you pay something, you'll be able to get your principal out, which never happens.
Mm.
And that's why they could see the money, but they couldn't touch it.
Yeah. So I just realised that name that came up on the screen before was Nick's mistress's name. I just read your messages in the box there, which is a bit hard case. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. I was just going to clean your screens, guys. This is Sadie. She every time somebody subscribes to the YouTube channel, she comes out and cleans the screen. Thank you, Sadie. She's awesome. I don't know. The whole thing is breathtaking. I don't know how to explain it, but the whole lot's just it's just crazy what he's done. There's no remorse here. That's what I'm seeing. It's trying to watch Christopher show some sort of remorse for something that is nothing but fraud.
You're not bragging about your Louis Vuitton pool table. But there is a bright spot to this whole thing where I think Chris does make a good point. I think not all is lost. Not all was just a complete failure to communicate here. Because I think one thing Chris is angling for is to get his co-conspirators in trouble. Like, obviously, he's not gonna say he's not guilty. Clearly, he's pleading out. But as he's the top man, what can you really do? Well, you can get your co-conspirators in trouble. And I think that's relevant here. He did not work alone. And so I really do hope they go after some of these co-conspirators.
Federal investigators say Delgado and his co-conspirators solicited investors under false and fraudulent promises of monthly returns, which were sometimes presented as guaranteed or low risk. We are not naming the alleged co-conspirators because they are not named in this complaint. But Delgado told us he shared their roles with the feds.
Yeah, I think it's obvious that in any scheme this large, there are other people. And, one problem I see with our justice system is oftentimes the guy at the very top goes down and everyone else sort of gets off light. I obviously don't think that should happen here. A lot of people went after the retirees. A lot of people had to go get those investors money. They should be held accountable too for the people who knew it was a Ponzi scheme this whole time. They should obviously face justice. So that is the one part where I'm like, kind of like rooting for Chris to turn in his co-conspirators. I'm like, yeah, they should go down too. But I don't think this whole ploy to get off easier or to make himself look good is going to work because it's just so transparent. If you were actually sorry, you wouldn't have stolen the money. If you actually had good intentions, you wouldn't have done a Ponzi scheme. And most importantly, if you're going to actually take accountability for your actions, you wouldn't have sued Danny DeHack, the journalist who started reporting on this early on, right? But of course, that's not what happened. Now, I want to directly confront and expose one of the biggest lies that Delgado says in this piece, where basically he says, look, it all would have worked had our product come out in time, right? He says, look, we were working on this product. Wasn't supposed to be a Ponzi scheme. Here it is.
Delgado tells us Goliath was trying to develop its own crypto product that would have taken over as a real investment.
It just kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed. But in these delays, we are now a rocket ship.
And you continue to take investors.
We didn't have any choice.
Why didn't you just say no?
I think it's easy for someone to sit on the outside. It's hard to do that in the moment.
Yeah, it's easy to sit on the outside because most people don't lie to their investors. And you have to understand, so much of what he says is dishonest here. Here's the actual thing they were selling to people. This is a screenshot from one of their marketing materials. They have the capital flows of Goliath. This was their actual product he's talking about. He's saying, we were going to build this product. This is what they were pitching, okay? Right here. You send in the money, it goes to this liquidity pool, right? That's not something you need to develop. That can be done right away. I can use a liquidity pool, in 2 seconds right now. So this whole idea that there was this magic, doohickey that they were going to develop that was going to allow them to do the thing they said they were going to do is just a lie. The truth is, what they were promising was impossible. There was no liquidity pool invention that they were going to do. First of all, liquidity pools are already a thing. Second of all, none of them offer the kinds of returns that they were claiming they were making. So I just hope everyone can see through this transparent lie by Chris Delgado where he says, I just was about to finish making the product. No, you were not. We know what you were promising investors. We know that the real problem was that you were promising them too much money. And the saddest part about this is the fact that retirees got swept into this. But another part that just breaks my heart is that there are actually charities that Chris Delgado was hugely involved in. All of that money is likely going to have to be clawed back.
Yeah, the records we have also show Goliath Ventures donated about $5.1 million to charity schools and foundations across our area. We have confirmed, Martha and Greg, some have actually received subpoenas related to those funds.
In these big Ponzi cases, you have to go after everyone who received the false profits from, the victims who ultimately are the source of the funds. So the sad conclusion to this story is that it's very likely that some of the charities that he was laundering his reputation through are now going to have to face, legal action to try to get some of this money back. So yeah, that's just unfair for them. They might have already spent the money, but it's also not fair to the victims who've lost the money in the first place. It's just a kind of total disaster. And to see this guy wearing an ankle monitor in Hermes shoes, to see him driving his Rolls Royce from the courthouse, it just displays someone who's so unbelievably out of touch. Sure, I can agree that his co-conspirators should face more accountability, but when I see him talking, I see a guy who's just still making excuses and still trying to minimize exactly what actually happened here. But ultimately, I think Daralene Jones did a great job of exposing that. So hats off to her. I'm of course going to link both of her news reports below. You can go check them out, and thanks for watching.
Yeah. Okay. So Coffeezilla is amazing. He's awesome. He's everything. I when I met him, I said, he's always been my hero, and he was sort of a bit, I don't know, embarrassed about that. And I said, "What are you embarrassed for?" I said, "No, you are. You're absolutely amazing." And he also listened to me. He also did his own independent investigation on the whole lot. He shared stuff with me that, let's say, he thought I didn't know. Absolutely amazing. So, hats off to everything. I'm finding it hard to say that Darlene did a good job, but that's why we have difference of opinions. And the reason why is I feel that the detrimental effects that Christopher's had on people, I think that's what concerns me the most. I talk to the victims. I know these victims I was talking to, I voice message each other. I know how much you're hurting. I know, everyone was investing, so why won't I? And now they're literally hurting financially. Well, anyway, that's stage one, guys. Today, I actually put together a blog about if I actually got the opportunity to interview Chris, what questions would I want answered? And I'm hoping that if there's anyone else that gets the opportunity to ask Chris questions, they might look at my questions and put them and use them. But investigative journalism isn't about powerful people, powerful people. Oh, look, this is not going to go right.
Investigative journalism isn't about giving powerful people a comfortable platform.
That's right.
It's about asking the questions they don't want answered.
Yeah, so we didn't want a cotton bud investigation going on. Over the last 8 months, I've spent countless hours investigating Goliath Ventures, speaking to victims, whistleblowers, insiders, blockchain researchers, and people directly connected to the operation. Long before mainstream media showed up, many of us were already documenting impossible returns, frozen withdrawals, luxury spending, recruitment tactics, offshore narratives, and the panic happening behind the scenes while ordinary people were still pouring money into the schemes. That's why so many victims were furious watching the WFTV Channel 9 interviews conducted by Daralene Jones with Christopher Delgado. Instead of hard-hitting investigative interview, viewers got a series of short, edited segments that often fell more like into a controlled public relations exercise than a genuine accountability. Christopher Delgado, who was repeatedly allowed to emotionally frame himself as a businessman whose company got away from him instead of being aggressively challenged over the mechanics of a Ponzi scheme that destroyed lives, in some cases took lives, in my opinion. If you have ever followed the Goliath story, if you had ever followed the Goliath story before, you might genuinely walk away thinking this was one startup, sorry, what I was meant to say, if you haven't been following this story before, you might have actually looked at those videos and thought it was a startup founder who made a few bad decisions under pressure. But that's not what happened. And that's why this is straightforward, in my opinion. This was a man promising returns on investment of 3 to 8% monthly returns while living as a billionaire. So just think about that for a while, guys. Somebody's offering 3 to 8% monthly returns. Banks can't do it. No one can do it. And it was guaranteed, insured. You know what I'm saying? So it's too good to be true. Now, that's an extraordinary claim. And extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. So if a company out there is claiming that they can give you that return on investment, they need to back it up with some real hardcore evidence. And we didn't see that. Mentions, Rolex collections, 18 Rolex watches confiscated, and we've heard that he could have up to 50 or 100 of those watches in Dubai, which we don't even know if they've collected those yet. Private jet travel, Lamborghinis, Dubai apartments, celebrity connections, Jason Derulo comes to mind, luxury events, $5 million party on the 12th of December when everyone else has had their money frozen. Massive alcohol tabs. Yes, we've heard that he spent over $100,000 on alcohol in one night. Now, that's not a guy that needs to be in front of a camera saying he was trying to get it to work. Lifestyle marketing designed to attract trust. It was all about trust. All these Ponzi schemes that we investigate are all about building trust with individuals. That's all they're about. They build your trust and then they skin all the meat of the bone, so to speak. Meanwhile, victims were cashing out pensions, retirement accounts, mortgages, and life savings, believing their money was safely invested. This didn't feel like a real investigation. That's what I'm saying about Daralene Jones' investigation. The biggest problems with these interviews is not that Christopher Delgado was given airtime. The problem is that he was largely allowed to control the emotional narrative without serious interruption. Unlike my investigations, I start yelling at people. I'm learning to be better. At no point did the interview truly drill down into the impossible mechanics behind his business model. At no point did Daralene Jones aggressively challenge how a company with no verified revenue stream could legally pay investors up to 8% per month. Plus, on top of that, you'd be paying for the promoters because they get commissions. At no point did she force him to explain how investors' money was allegedly being recycled while he continued living an extravagant lifestyle. Instead, the interview repeatedly drifted into sympathetic building territory. His childhood, his stress, his emotions, his fear of failure, his intentions, his regret. Nice one. But victims didn't lose retirement funds because Christopher had a difficult upbringing. They lost money because they trusted a man projecting extraordinary wealth and success while the operation was collapsing behind the scenes. One of the most frustrating parts for many victims is that mainstream media seems to be more interested in interviewing Christopher Delgado than aggressively investigating the wider network around him. And I'm talking about the co-conspirators. Why not identify those promoters? Why not actually knock on the door of Tomo and ask him for an interview and film yourself doing it at the time? Why not, get Steve Davis? We've got all their phone numbers. Give them a ring. Ask them if they want to interview. They can always say no comment, but that would show guilt. Or my solicitor told me not to say anything. But why not go and knock on the doors and do some interviews? Why not question the executives? Why not approach the people appearing in recruitment videos? Patrick Ben-David, have you decided to go see Patrick Ben-David and ask him all about it? At the moment, what I see you doing is you've gone to Runway to Hope, you've gone to Mark Najiv's, who's...
New donation from Kaylee Storer.
Kaylee Storer, thank you very much. So you've gone to Mark Najiv's, and he's the only one that's probably spoke up and replied to your emails that you've sent out, and then you put him in the spotlight like he's part of the problem. So why not go after Patrick Ben-David? Do you want his phone number? Jonathan Mason has his phone number because he used to work with him. He was the one that teed up the Patrick Ben-David events. I can tell you who these people are connected to. Have you reached out to Jonathan Mason, who's made claims on video, on recordings, claiming that there's $1 billion worth of crypto locked up over 6 wallets? He claims he's seen 2 wallets with $500,000 500 million? I forget, so much money. But why not go and make door knocks and question these guys, these co-conspirators? Why not investigate the people earning the commissions? Why not examine the lifestyle marketing machine that helped pull victims into the scheme? That's what real investigative journalism is supposed to do. I've written to all these people that you've seen flashed up on my screen today. We've written emails to the schools, the Orange, whatever school it was. We've done it. You don't wait at the bottom of the cliff after the bodies pile up. We are sick and tired of it. I always say to people, I'm at the top of the cliff and I'm telling people not to jump. But why does the media always find themselves at the bottom of the cliff asking people for interviews? I mean, what happened to investigative journalists where we have prevention and we tell people not to invest? Why can't you do that type of journalism?
Why is she not talking about the Black Bloc video? Why did nobody address the Black Bloc video? Coffee did. You did.
Black Rock.
But that was off the table?
People were told it was Black Rock, and then they realized it was Black Bloc. Right. You investigate the people pushing, you want to investigate the people pushing people towards the edge. The people that made this company grew, if you want to believe Chris, the people that made the company grew was the executives, the partners. He never pitched it. So if they didn't exist, Goliath Ventures wouldn't have been able to steal $128 million from mum and dad investors. I mean, being a fireman all your life for 30, 40 years and then getting your pension and your 401k all gone because someone like Steve Davis was in the community of the firemen and told everyone, I'll walk into a burning building with you. And now I've come up with an investment opportunity. Literally the people I talked to on the phone said, we trust him with our lives. We've walked into burning buildings with him and now he's taken their money. And I did a video a wee while ago about Stephen Davis, who had a book publishing company, and he was suggesting that somebody who wanted to have their book written mortgaged their house to pay for the cost of getting their book published. It was a mouthful, wasn't it? And so he's using the same techniques that they use to convince people to invest in Goliath Ventures. Why not mortgage your house and invest in a high-risk crypto investment opportunity? It's guaranteed, they were telling people. Guaranteed investment. And it was going to pay 3 to whatever they had up an offer. And not only that, I'm just going to go on about Jonathan Mason for a little bit more. So somebody who lost millions and millions of dollars, he rang up and left a message on his phone, and we got that message. It's on our YouTube channel if you go looking for it. And he's telling this person that he's got a new investment opportunity available with Matt, his mate, which I presume is Matt Burks. And he was saying if you've got...
donation from Dan.
Thanks, Dan. Oh, that's not a good name you've got there. So, and then they said that if you had rich friends and you gave them to us, we would give you a commission for referring other people. Same shit, different day. It's disgusting. Okay. So you're not a professional journalist, is what Daralene Jones has actually said to somebody who was telling them that they should have interviewed me when I was in America or even now. Daralene Jones reportedly did not want to speak with me because apparently I'm not a professional journalism. The ironic, I can't even read that word. What's that one there?
Considering independent.
Ironic considering independent investigators and whistleblowers were publicly exposing Goliath Ventures long before interviews aired. Look, I can tell you now that mainstream media is done. They don't report the news. They read regurgitated court documents. They wait for the courts to deliver a document, and then they put it on the headlines of the news like it's breaking news. There's no such thing as breaking news anymore, unless there's a weather report, of course, and a tornado or something. But other than all this financial stuff, it's just a joke. While traditional media were absent, victims were documenting withdrawal freezes. Researchers were tracing wallets. Independent investigators were archiving evidence. You saw my evidence. I mean, we've got all these videos here. These were used in CoffeeZilla's, look at this. All the flash cars. What's that? What's that got to do with investments? I mean, this was outside the London Club. They called it their offices. It was all lifestyle marketing. This video here, look at this. I mean, these guys here he is standing up on the stage talking about what they actually do. And, why didn't they use this video?
Enjoy life.
I bet people can't stand this guy now. All the lies that they told people. These are the co-conspirators right there. There's Vince Garetta, works for, I think, some real estate company. Yeah, but they all work. And there's in the background, you've got Alex, who's a personal trainer. What the hell's he doing there? And then Tomo. I mean, this guy here, Hunter Smallback, he's a fisherman, for God's sake. All of a sudden, he's executive selling Goliath Ventures packages. These aren't even executive people. So why didn't they use this video? There we go. There's Punic Shaw. Is that Nick Petrelli? Boy, it doesn't look like Nick.
That's
Maybe
Nick.
It is. Boy, he looks a bit chubby there, just saying. Not that I can talk about it. And there they are. There's the co-conspirators. Look at these guys here, guys. This is the co-conspirators. These are the people that you want to knock on the door. If you want to do real... Now, have I contacted every single one of them? I have. Have we sent emails to all of these guys? The ones that I can find their contact details to? Yes, we have. It just goes crazy. So journalists, we've got independent investigators, we're archiving the evidence. We've got the videos, we've got the emails, we've got the contracts, we've got the contracts from the investors a lot of the time. Whistleblowers were exposing contradictions. Journalists like CoffeeZilla were digging into the mechanics of the operation. People who actually followed the collapse in real time were largely ignored while Christopher Delgado handled a public platform to reshape the narrative before potentially spending decades behind bars. I think I said that wrong. I think you get the idea. He's a naughty boy. And that's exactly why victims are angry, because many of us have watched this unfold in real time. It's like watching sand go through your fingers and you can't stop it. We watched the lifestyle marketing. We watched the recruitment. We watched the impossible returns. We watched the trust me bro culture around Christopher Delgado. We watched ordinary people being emotionally manipulated into believing they had finally found financial freedom. And now, after everything has collapsed, mainstream media turns up to allow Christopher to explain himself largely on his own terms, while inside a luxury mansion apparently purchased using investors' monies. That's not what victims want to see. Now, this is why Susie's been here so patiently. She's going to read my questions for me because I'm going to stuff this up. But we want Christopher to actually answer the following questions, because I think it's important for the victims to have some form of closure or maybe understanding of the mentality. And we believe these are just some questions that we've thrown together over the last 8 months that we want answers for.
Okay, so number 1. Christopher, before Goliath started using new investor money to pay existing investors, what legitimate revenue streams was the company actually generating?
Ooh, big silence there.
Number 2.
We're not going to answer these questions. I don't think we need to answer them.
No,
but I
think we're just going to have to read them.
Yeah.
Because we don't have the answers. We can speculate, but we might actually know some of the answers, Admiral. But,
yeah,
for purposes of this, he needs to come to the table and answer these.
No, true.
Number 2. Can you show a single independently audited trading record proving Goliath consistently generated enough profit to legally pay investors 3% to 8% every month? Number 3, if the Dubai fund supposedly held the money, what was the legal name of the fund? Who controlled it? And why has nobody independently verified its existence? Number 4, at what exact point did you realize investor withdrawals depended on new investor money coming in?
That's a great question, isn't it? I mean, like, how long has he been living this lie for? I mean, that's what we want to know. Come on, mate. Like, some people would like to know whether that handshake that you gave them back in January, whatever it was it real, true, and genuine? Or have you been, I mean, how could you not know this was a lie from the start? I don't know. I'm not answering the question, Chris.
I think the people that really want to know that answer are the ones that invested so very late in the scheme. September, October, even people in November.
Mm.
Like, how are they even taking money at that point? How
Yeah.
did that happen? Okay, number 5, moving on. Once you realized that, why did you continue accepting new investors instead of shutting the company down immediately or just not accepting any more money and kind of hit that point?
Yeah.
Number 6, why were you buying luxury mansions, Lamborghinis, private jet flights, Rolex watches, and spending allegedly over $100,000 on alcohol in a single night while investors believed their money was safely invested? And I don't want to lose this point here. Something that had come up over and over again was this insurance policy. And that was something that was talked about over and over again at that 2024 Christmas party.
Mm.
That
Oh.
would have been a prime question that
Mm.
Daralene could have asked.
Yeah. How could you? Yeah. And that's why I remember earlier on I lost my train of thought. Matt
Mhm.
Birks did an independent audit, and he claimed that all investors' funds remained. They had all investors' funds secured, and all of the accounts were at 115% for the whole year of 2024, which would obviously give people a false sense of security, because what they were basically saying, all the money that had been deposited into Goliath was sitting in a bank account, and they were up the ante by 115 by 15%. To even say that in their speech was well, now it's obviously bullshit, but that was why isn't Matt Burke being held accountable to his audit?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, just before
All
you
right,
carry on
moving
there,
on to number 7.
I was just
Yeah.
going to have a quick look at
Oh,
this, so you explain this for us.
yes, please do.
Yeah. So what have we got here?
So, Goliath victims have set up their own Instagram,
Nice.
and this is a space where people can come and anonymously share detail. And they've created some nice, well, that video right there in the middle I thought was really great. Um, Not the first one there, but the second one where you have the photo. And why I was giggling earlier was that I knew I had seen the photo before, but it didn't register with me until you showed it again.
This one here. Oh,
Um,
this one here.
yeah, that one. No, no, the one that you were just on. The one
Okay,
before that.
that one there.
Yeah, that
Oh,
one.
yeah.
So if you can turn up the
Part of Goliath, it was weird.
Bought a Porsche strategically to get into a circle of people that all were driving Ferraris and Lamborghinis, which led me to a private members club.
Goliath was like the cool kids club.
Where I'm rubbing
Brilliant.
shoulders with millionaires, billionaires, and senators and House of Representatives members.
It was weird.
That was a risk. Paid off. I then became a member of that private club that I couldn't afford.
Right. All his money's come from Goliath.
Goliath was like the cool kids club.
Ah.
If you lived in Orlando or if you lived in Windermere or Dr. Phillips and you weren't part of Goliath, it was weird. Goliath was like the cool kids club. If you lived in Orlando or if you lived in Windermere or
just a
Dr.
repeat
Phillips,
now.
How's it going?
But
Good stuff, guys.
I thought that was a brilliant compilation, especially that photo at the end, because they talk about the cool kids club, and then you look at a photo like the war room.
Yeah. Oh, this is good, guys.
So,
I sort of feel for yeah. I'm sick of. I don't.
Hello? You snapped, huh? Wow.
this was the party that he had at his house a couple of weeks ago. You couldn't find that video earlier. We were
Yeah.
looking for it. This
Yeah.
is
So
this is the party.
So you can steal everyone's money, live in an $8.5 million mansion, and have a party. And remember, there's a part here.
Back, baby! We're back!
Now, if you look here, that's I didn't remember that. So remember, I said that they had that thing you suck on.
The hookah.
Yep. So that's Chris sitting there, which I thought was on a cycle machine because I thought he was trying to keep fit, but obviously it's not. But that's obviously Chris there. But yeah, so that was 2 weeks ago, having parties with your left. And where's the money come from? It's rich friends. What
New
type of
donation
people?
from Thanks Danny.
Oh, thanks, Danny. Yeah, I like that name. Thank you very much for the donations. Honestly, it's really nice and it's really needed. I don't take any donation. We are literally on the mission of writing back to everyone that's donated to us over the last week, and I promise I will do that, and I mean that. But what I'm getting at here is this is what the hell's going on here? So in the world we live in at the moment, you can steal everyone's money, live in a house, have a party until you get put in prison. And I can tell you some other stuff that comments I've heard from some people, but I'd expose them. But it's just shocking. I mean, that's just shocking that you can do that. There's lots of good stuff here. So hopefully you've had a good look at this. I might ping this off to Coffee as well. He might have a wee look through here. And I'll tell you what, though. Look, I
And
can't
keep it coming. Seriously, anybody that keep that channel running because it's an important outlet for people right now, especially with everything that's transpired.
I've actually literally, if you go to no scam, I think it's no scam de heck. I lost my link, my Instagram account because it gets reported by scammers. But you can pull these videos off. I don't know if I've got, not these ones, but I think I actually had one. I think this one here. This is me when I first saw that they were letting Chris have a voice. I did a video, but I've got the photos of the co-conspirators. But if you want any content, all those videos that I've got, let me know and I'll send them through and you can upload them to the channel because keep it going, guys. But yeah, I will try and I've actually started TikToking. Well, there's these ones here. This is where he is, the man about town. These are all the people that probably wish they didn't go to the concerts now. That guy's reached out to me now telling me I'm a hero, and he was going all around friggin' Germany with them, But look at these guys. These are co-conspirators. I don't know who that guy is. You probably do. Yeah. Yeah. Look at this. I mean, Merry Christmas team. It's actually, to me, it's actually sad, that this happened. And I mean, the prevention, like the banks are responsible as well. Could have stopped a lot of this carry on. I mean, I feel like I know all these guys. It's just breathtaking, really. You're looking at the photos. I know what you're doing. Look at that.
It's surreal it's surreal to know how many people have been impacted by this, and how they've been impacted. It's not just money. It's their lives, right? Their families.
And this wasn't an accident. This photo that you're looking at here is the image they stripped down all their social media at Christmas time and uploaded one image. And that was the image, Thanksgiving. It was like saying, we've taken the money, we've buggered off, see you later, happy Thanksgiving. And I just looked at that, thought, you piece of shit. That's different stuff. That's a kid that punched me in the shop.
Trust.
Oof. Oh. I got punched. That got 4 million views.
Oh my gosh. The trust that was broken, right? Just the relationships that people had with the director partners too, right? Those individuals and with Chris. I think that's what's so sad about the whole thing.
It is all about relationships. Everything that we do, it's all about building trust, and then they destroy relationships. And then you think, I can't trust my friends anymore, Oh my God, I can still look at my own Instagrams. I do think this one was quite good though. This one here is, if you want a doll, you can either get Jason Derulo or Lord Delgado. All right, Susie, you're getting paid the big bucks. Carry on reading. Let's do it.
Where am I? Am I at number 8?
No,
I
you're
guess
7.
I'm at number 8. Yes.
7.
Oh, yes. Okay, 7. How many properties did you personally purchase using funds connected to Goliath Ventures?
That would have hurt though, eh? Oh. Yeah.
Why did a company that supposedly had liquidity problems continue throwing extravagant events and lifestyle marketing campaigns instead of preserving capital?
Mm,
I mean, the
mm.
Christmas party alone is one of those things. I mean, if payouts stopped in October, why was there a party in December? There shouldn't have been. Um, Number 9, did you deliberately use wealth, celebrity connections, luxury branding, and exclusivity to make investors trust you? Hmm,
Hey, look at my sandals. Sorry. Yeah. Only reason I invested with
number
Chris is because he had $1,000 sandals.
that's gotta be it. That's
Yeah.
it. Number 10, if this was simply a failed startup, why were investors being promised fixed monthly returns instead of normal high-risk startup equity outcomes?
And that's a brilliant
Hmm.
question because, like, how can he perceive that he's able to pay people 3 to 8% per month without knowing whether the company's going to be feasible? Because normally startups, we're looking for capital. And our plan of attack is this. This is our white paper. This is what we're planning to do. We perceive we might make this much, but we need, I don't know, 15 million's worth of investment before we can make it feasible. And then we can come out here and tell you how much money you're going to get per month rather than slapping down 3 to 8%. Is that what you mean?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I really like this next question. What actual product was Goliath developing that you claim would eventually fix everything?
And
What
like Coffee
was
said,
that?
the product was liquidity pools, and that doesn't mathematically add up. So if he said that product, he would have been shooting himself in the foot because he
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to deliver the
And
returns.
again, if everything was so transparent, why didn't anybody know about these investments in Dubai? Don't know. Number
I don't.
12.
They don't
We'll move
exist.
on. Where are the developers, contracts, source code, partnerships, patents, or launch agreements connected to this supposed crypto product? Hmm,
Yeah. Queen of Karma's still
maybe,
up.
maybe.
Welcome back, girl.
Hi, Queen.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Number 13. Why did investors continue receiving contracts and promises while withdrawals were already freezing behind the scenes? Again, it goes back to the question of why were you still taking money in? Hmm.
Yeah.
Number 14. Did any lawyer, accountant, compliance officer, or executive ever warn you that Goliath was operating like a Ponzi scheme? I mean, you had people like Matthew Malkemis on your board. Wasn't
Mm.
he an executive of Goliath? He was on the website at one point. And then you had Matt Burks and Black Block. I mean, all these people supposedly had credentials, but none of them warned you? Oh, wait, that's right. They helped you make it. Oh,
Ah.
okay. I'll move on. Number 15. How much money did you personally withdraw or benefit from before the collapse of Goliath Ventures? We never really did get that figure now, did we, Admiral?
No.
He never
Oh
said.
my God. What was this personal? Oh, I love that. Now that would be great. What were you personally spending per year to maintain your lifestyle?
How about even per month?
Well, that would be a
I mean,
yearly fee for the rich and famous, wouldn't it? Ugh.
number 16. Did you ever consider selling your luxury assets to repay investors before federal authorities intervened?
Oh my God, that's brilliant. Oh my God. Yeah, I was going to sell one of my Lamborghinis.
Hmm. All right. Number 17. Why should victims believe you are remorseful now when your luxury lifestyle continued right up until the collapse? In fact, it still does. It's not even right up until the collapse. You're still living in it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't even know who he's managed to pay the Powerball at the moment because it'd be interesting to know where his money is. You know what I mean? Like where does he get his stuff from? Like, how does he pay for his bills? Because theoretically, there's only $165,000 in the bank, and that was in Goliath's bank. So what's he living on now? Maybe Tia, whatever, is going to stay to him until he's dead. What his girlfriend Tar? What's her name? Tay?
Taya.
Taya. So, Taya, are you out doing hairdressing now or something? How are you supporting the family? Because Christopher can't leave with his ankle bracelet on. Or maybe are you out doing Uber Eats drop-offs or something? I don't know. Maybe you could do that at home, husband and wife team. Like you could cook dinners and you could deliver them for people. I don't know. But yes. Has she sold her $1 million
18.
handbags? Sorry.
Has she had to turn them in? Has she been subpoenaed?
Sorry.
Okay, 18. You claim you never intended to run a Ponzi scheme, but isn't continuing to take investor money after knowing the business could not meet withdrawals the very definition of fraud?
Yeah, let's drink to that. I mean, that's so brilliant. I mean, you claimed as soon as you realize it's a Ponzi scheme, you carry on. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah. The temptation must be very
Right?
real, though, because I think the first investment that we've tracked was about 700,000. I mean, that would be enough money for
Yeah.
anybody to go, oh my God, and then let's get another $700,000 and I'll use that to do whatever. You know, it must be tempting because a lot of people do these Ponzi schemes. So, yeah. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, they never think they're going to get caught. That's the
Yeah.
thing. 19. If federal investigators had not intervened, would Goliath Ventures still be accepting investors today? That's a great question right there.
Yeah. And that, I can answer
Great
that for
question.
you, Chris. Yes. The only reason you stopped was because
Yeah.
we did an investigation. Oh, we did an investigation. I didn't mean to hit that then. What's that one there? Is that another?
There's a moral and ethical something around this whole thing that this question brings up, right? And even what he said in the interview doesn't address it.
Yeah.
It doesn't address what he would have done. Okay, number 20. Are we at 20 already?
Hey, you've got
Wow.
a fan.
Okay.
Listen to this. I could listen. Here you go. I'll say it sleazily. I could listen to Susie reading the phone book. Jesus, get a room.
Thanks.
She's my
Thanks,
friend.
Nev.
Yeah. Jesus.
20. You say you are cooperating now, but why didn't you come forward voluntarily before the collapse instead of waiting until after investors lost hundreds of millions of dollars?
Oh, it's so true. It's sort of double it up that one a wee bit, isn't it? Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe this one is too, but we'll read it anyway.
Okay.
If you truly believed the business could be saved by the crypto product you've mentioned, why did you and your inner circle continue heavy personal spending and asset purchases right up until the federal intervention instead of redirecting every available dollar into verifiable product development?
Yeah, I think Coffee mentioned that really cool because he said basically they had the product, you know? So the product wasn't being developed. You know, he could have, I mean, what would have been nice to see, maybe he was waiting for his offices to be finished and then he would have set up, you know, a working office where people were actually doing liquidity pool trading. But he wasn't. The office was set up as a party house. We've even we've done everything, man. We've really investigated this one. We've even contacted the designer and asked whether he was involved. And he come back and said he's under contract to finish. They finished designing the offices because they're already been prepaid. So he had to finish the contract. And the guy said, I don't want anything to do with it, but I've got the contract. I've finished the contract. I'm passing it over, you know. And
So,
yeah,
and I don't even know if we put a question about that on this list
about
about the
the,
offices.
yeah. I've
Why
seen the,
why are they still
I was going to
why are
steal
they
the,
why were they still empty?
I was going to steal the blueprints, Susie, and it was so tempting. I thought,
Oh my
I
They
thought,
were right there.
I know, but that would have been funny. But I thought, no, that's not right. Not that they were being used, but I had the opportunity to. I've touched the blueprints. Anyway, don't know if you can verify that. I could be just making it up.
There's a fingerprint there or something. Okay, number 22. Christopher, you and your partners repeatedly claimed that family funds invested in Goliath were insured or otherwise protected. What was the exact name of the insurance policy or guarantor?
That would save us a lot of work because we went through all of them. We found people that were invested from insurance companies and we thought, oh, if you've invested, it's probably, you know, we'll give you 9% interest if you insure us.
But there was an Instagram post There was an Instagram post. It was put out there. It said Merry Christmas from Chris, and it gave the information on who the insurer was. I think it was Realm Insurance or something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that that's somewhere in the mix of what the receiver is maybe trying to understand, but he needs records.
A lot of our stuff that we got was we've got the way we gather evidence is sometimes like a lolly scramble, and some people will give us 20 bits of lollies, and we put them all into our bag, and while we're getting the intel, we just shove it into the bag, and then after we talk like now, it might seem like we don't know where that lolly come from, but we have to go through and sort out all the lollies and figure out where they come from before we can actually just have that evidence to hand over. So what we kind of hope for is when we were asked to help investigate, we can go through our own archives and find the sources of the information that we have, which we don't get paid for this research that we do to spend the time that we really need to spend on to do a proper job, because we're all a bunch of volunteers. But it doesn't mean that we can't find the good stuff if we have to. We've got it. We just need to, it's not like it's not like a wee brochure. It's a big, big pile of paperwork that we have to go through. And so, yeah, but we do know that I don't feel like there's any money left over, unfortunately, guys.
Yeah. Only the bits that we've seen anyway.
Yeah.
Number 23. Why did Goliath continue accepting large wire transfers even after whistleblowers say redemption requests were already being delayed or denied?
Yeah. So after it collapsed, still taking the money. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I've heard in recent weeks now that in some cases, when there was a problem with the company bank accounts with Bank of America or JP Morgan or wherever it is they could no longer bank, some of the director partners were just having people wire them directly to their personal bank accounts.
So this is going to be the good part. So
Yeah, these are things that are really suspicious when you start thinking about what was going on there.
And if anyone's done that, it's going to come out because that's money
It will
laundering.
come out.
Yeah, and we even know they're using Wise's bank as well. Some of our investors were getting. Oh, I don't know what they do, but Wise's give you a bank account number, so money's been going all over the place. It's kind of like it's not
Yeah, and if
just gone.
you're listening to this and if
Mhm.
you're listening to this and that was you, and you paid a director partner directly to their own bank account, I
Major.
sincerely encourage you to reach out to the IRS CI division immediately.
Yeah.
Fill out their form and tell them those details because it's so important to understanding the whole puzzle of what this was.
They in any good investigation, they always say follow the money, but there's never a true word spoken. It's like when we get new survivors coming along, we just say, "How did you pay for it?" And that is gold to us because the money don't lie. And what they instructed you to do, the timelines, everything, it all adds to the picture. And it's just so important, that one. So if you did pay a partner instead of paying Chris directly, hey, Pixel. All right, Susie, I'm going to let Pixel out the door because he wants a wee. You're in charge for the next ones. Okay.
Okay. Well, we're going to continue with number 25. Some investors say hypercompounding was heavily pushed over monthly withdrawals. Who created hypercompounding, that model, and why was it encouraged? So, for any of you that don't know what this hypercompounding was, had encouraged a lot of investors to keep their funds in the fund. And every month they would just roll it back in and roll it back in. And so the number on the screen would increase in large amounts over some other individuals who were taking monthly withdrawals. The, the sad part is, many of the people that did take those monthly withdrawals, they did the same thing. They just did their own hyper compounding. They took the withdrawal out and then they sent it right back to Goliath. So again, it was all money on the just a number on a screen if you're using the hyper compounding model. And I think part of how this scheme continued for so long was because a lot of people were doing that. So they never had to pay out anybody. They only had to pay out certain individuals at certain times. And then when September hit and people were starting to understand something might not be right here, and some large investors retracted their entire principal plus interest,
Yeah.
that's when things started to get very difficult for them in terms of paying people.
And one of the people
Okay.
that they put through a court case was quite interesting because
Yeah.
he'd got his money out and his principal out, and then they filed a lawsuit against
Yeah, and
him.
if you read the federal complaint, investor number 2 on the federal complaint, that is their story, that they had gotten principal and interest. So it did happen in some cases, and so those individuals, if whatever it is that you received over and above what it is that you invested, that money can be clawed back. And
Yeah.
if, again, you're out there and that is you and you have received funds above and beyond what it is that you invested, I highly encourage you to reach out to the IRS CI division, the receiver, because again, coming forward is much better than being found out.
Hmm. I don't know why people wait, but I mean,
It's because it's scary. Nobody wants
yeah,
to admit that that was them, and
yeah,
they might not have the money either. But that doesn't mean that they shouldn't come forward because, again, you're going to help the other investors that didn't get their principal back, help
mm,
figure out this story and how it is that it happened and where the money went.
yeah.
Number 26. All right. Christopher, have you personally lost money in scams or Ponzi schemes before? And were any of those the models used as an inspiration for Goliath
Ooh,
Ventures?
it could be a tricky one.
Hmm.
My
What do you
liquidity
think,
pools,
Admiral? Oh, my
yeah,
liquidity partner to
traders
mind.
domain. What was the other one? Seed something. I didn't know anything about seed stuff though.
Seed Hunter? No, that was just a company in Dubai that they said that they had purchased,
Ah,
right? They
right.
had acquired Hunter, and Seed Hunter was supposed to be doing something great. I'm trying to remember what the other one was. Was it Medieval Empires or something? That kind of rings a bell.
Mm. They they did actually have a list of companies that they acquired theoretically as assets for
Right.
Goliath Ventures, but we tracked those companies back, and they were all originally purchased by Christopher at the start. So whether he transferred them over to Goliath Ventures as assets, we'll never know. But whether they're worth anything, don't know either.
Yeah. And those the people that were in those businesses have since moved on to other things. So that's where the Bitword comes into play.
Mm,
Because individuals that were originally part of those businesses now are supposedly owners and operators of Bitword.
mm.
All right. And finally, should
Ooh,
we go on to the final
go-
one? Number
why not?
27. Why should the public believe these interviews were about accountability instead of damage control and sentence mitigation before more conspirators are exposed?
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah. There's obviously
Do
a
you think
bone of
he'd ever
contention.
answer any of these?
No, I think there is one of the it's an elephant in the room, and I think everyone's waiting for somebody else to be charged. But if you
Yeah.
think, oops, sorry, too many elephants. Um, and I think that's quite important to understand. Now, the investigator that we talked to, two cool things. I gave him notice that Christopher had been charged and he hadn't received the paperwork. He wanted to know how we received the paperwork before them. That was cool. But also, he said that normally he's never seen anyone being charged so quickly. So let's just say that Christopher was their main focus to get him off the streets, create awareness. They did that within 6 months, and that's a world record. So a lot of other people are now saying, "Well, what about everyone else? Why aren't they 2 weeks behind?" Well, it could actually literally be a year behind, if not 18 months behind. And that might
Yeah.
we all want want closure, we want accountability, but the reality is that the system's so slow. You know,
Yeah.
Even like Chris hasn't been indicted yet, and they'll have to build a case. You know, he's probably not going to contest it. Well, I don't think he has contested what he's been charged with, but his actions must piss a lot of people off in law enforcement. I mean, it's like rubbing. It's really, I don't think it's a wise idea what he's done. And he's made a mockery of the system in a way. And I think that will actually put a bigger target on his back. I would be very surprised if he didn't get 30 years. And if he's gone after pension money as well,
Yeah, what's happened with the retirees and the elderly population that was involved in this scheme is those offenses are much more egregious.
Mm.
And that's why I think it's to your point, Danny, that if there's another 1 to 6 co-conspirators that a complaint may be laid against, now's the time.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
there's enough out there.
No,
So
it's
where do we
cool.
go from here?
Well, I'd like to
This is
finish my
it.
blog.
Victims wanted accountability, right?
Yeah, one last paragraph. Victims wanted accountability. Go on, you read it. Let's
Not
see.
a redemption. All right. Victims didn't need another emotional interview about Christopher Delgado's feelings. They needed accountability. They needed someone willing to challenge the fantasy, the lifestyle marketing, the impossible returns, the offshore stories, the luxury spending, and the people surrounding the operation. They needed somebody willing to ask why a company with no proven sustainable revenue model was promising extraordinary monthly returns while its leadership lived like celebrities. They needed somebody willing to challenge the narrative that this was simply a startup that failed. Because startups fail all the time. Startups don't normally promise fixed monthly returns while investors unknowingly fund luxury mansions, exotic cars, private jets, celebrity events, and lavish lifestyles. And this is why so many victims no longer trust mainstream media to tell these stories properly. Too often, the people doing the real investigative work are ignored until after the collapse. Too often, victims are treated like background characters, while the scammers become the centerpiece of the story. Too often, journalists confuse access with accountability. And right now, after watching these interviews, a lot of victims feel like Christopher Delgado was given an opportunity to soften his image instead of being truly challenged about the devastation left behind. Because at the end of the day, this wasn't just a failed business. People lost real money, and many of them are still waiting for real answers.
Every time we do something like this, I think, oh my God, I mean, it's hard. I feel for the victims. I don't have an answer for them. I think I feel quite strongly about this one. I mean, in some ways, if I was to look at this Danny style, is I think the victims could speak up and they could technically get on the news and have their 5 minutes worth of how the detrimental effects it had. But the reality of it, it might be just feeding the media. That like I could say to you guys, you should have spoke up and you should be on the news and you should be telling your story. But I just don't like mainstream media anymore. I like.
Why should they be exploited? That's the question. Why should they be
Yeah.
exploited to
Well,
satisfy the other side, which there's ways to do this without without putting your face on camera. There are so many things that could have been done to aggregate information. If there's really dozens of victims that have been calling in or emailing or whatever, they've shared a part of their story and all of that information could have been aggregated in some way. And
well,
yet nothing was said.
I think now, for example, some of the systems are broken. Like if you did a proof of claim, we can go on there and find your name. There's no privacy for victims. If I, I'm not saying this because I don't want to be a celebrity, but if I reckon that if they interviewed me, I would tell them that the detrimental effects that these investment opportunities have on people is you know, I don't understand why do they want to interview Chris? Why do they want to hear every single reporter I hear of want to speak to a victim? And I had a guy from Fox News, I've forgotten his name, and I rang him up. No, I sent him a message. I said, I'm in Orlando. I'm available to be interviewed. I'm the one that's been informing Homeland Security of all the stuff. And he wrote to me, have you got any victims who want to speak? So I wrote back to my person that teed me up with him. And I said, I'm not talking to that guy. He just wants victims. They just want to push victims in front of the camera and go, why did you invest? How do you feel? What sort of effects has this had on your life? What do you think effects it's had on people's lives? I mean, why do they do that? And I actually said, I don't want to speak to this guy anymore. He's the only one that interviewed me on camera. And he did it because he's interviewed Chris before when the sun was shining at his ass. So he's now got the yin and the yang, you know. And then he told me that I would have been looked better in a polo shirt than a T-shirt. He said, because I weren't looking professional enough. It was nice. He was a nice guy. I'm not knocking him. But I said, I said to my friend that was teaming up a few reporters to speak to, I said, if all these reporters just want me to hand over victims, people have told us the most intimate things about what has happened to them. And for me to hand over a victim to a company that just wants to put a camera in their face and ask them the most intimate questions that they're plucking up courage to even tell me about. People have reached out to me who've been watching me. I know right now that there will be 100 people watching this video that have watched every single video I've done. And they send me these messages. Every now and again, I get a new person going, I watched all your videos. I lost money. I just want to say thank you. And that sort of makes it worthwhile doing all this sort of stuff. But I think the media could tell the story. You know, there's more to the story than we can tell. But if they really think that showing somebody's pool table and their sandals and their home is reporting the news, that I just think the independent journalist or the investigative journalist is just not there anymore. I mean,
Yeah, and I think I think the overall picture, and I think this is what maybe upset me when I was listening to what they were saying about, hearing from dozens of victims and blah blah blah. It's not they aren't hiding because they have nothing to say. They're traumatized. They've got lives, and this is already on public display.
I can tell
So
you,
after, why would they want to go in front of and do all of that for additional public scrutiny and judgment after losing a life savings?
one
They
individual
didn't ask for this.
No, one individual I know put all his company money into Goliath, and he was using the monthly dividends to run and pay his staff wages. And now he's lost all his, and I'm talking millions and millions and millions and millions. I'll leave it to your imagination. Now he's got to figure out how to actually pay his staff. And that was his family money. I mean, everyone's got a terrible story to tell. I just don't think this was the right way of doing it.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the responsible thing would have been to build the trust and find the ways around this. And instead, the mansion interview was with soft lighting and sympathetic framing was chosen instead.
I'll stick my hand up and I'll say this is all bullshit. And I'll say it's all bullshit because I think it was conditional. And I think that they're very focused on one individual. And I can't tell that individual story. I can't tell that individual's story, but I do know that individual's story. And before anyone who knows this says, oh, they bankrolled you into it, this is the thing. The court case was all about me handing over who they alleged was bankrolling me to do it. And there never has been anybody, which is kind of funny in a way, but they just don't think people like me and my Avengers come after these thieves for no profit or gain. Everything has to have a reason. But the fact is they're focused on one individual all the way along is kind of like sad. But I think I always say the truth always prevails. Karma will catch up with you. Queen of Karma's in the chat room. She'll like that. Karma, I do believe in karma. I haven't got really a religious bone in my body anymore, but I do believe good things happen to good people. I think if you were to take away the things that I've seen happen, friendships have come out of this as well. And grief is a thing that I've had a bit to do with in my life. The 5 stages of grief, not that I can remember them all, but acceptance is the one you want to get to. Angry, denial, anger, denial. What is the rest, Susie? You know them?
Hang on a minute.
Yeah.
Somebody's in the chat room. You wanna say hi to them?
Oh God. I don't know. I don't know who Kara is. I didn't know if this is somebody trying to throw somebody's name into the bus or whether it's somebody. Hookah.
I'm not sure, but welcome, Robbie Georgie. Anyway.
No, I think. Oh, I see. Yeah. I think you were a wee bit behind. I think he's catching up. I think he's watched it with these commercials because I think he's talking about that thing that Chris was smoking. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So we were talking about the 5 stages of grief being denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance.
Bargaining. Right. That's the one. That's the one that I keep forgetting. And the reason why bargaining is important is I have people wanting to get their money back. And often we see people enticed to put more money in to get more money out, whatever it is. But I mean, what we're finding is, because when we started we've been doing these scams for over 5 years, I have, as a YouTuber. But this time we're actually talking to more victims than we've ever had in the past. And all of a sudden we're finding people have, they're literally upset at different, it's like they're at different stages,
Yeah.
and that's what we can figure out.
They go through the flow back and forth. That's what I've noticed. Some days it's one it looks like it's moving to one thing, and then the next day they're going backwards. And so these stages in grief come in waves too. It's not a linear process by any stretch.
Yeah. Because some of them have loved us and hated, well, they've loved me and hated me all in one go, and that's the worst thing. I met with one victim face to face, and then found out afterwards I weren't the flavour of the month anymore because I said something wrong. But then it's just like it is a swings. It's like a roller coaster. I don't even know. The amount of data. I mean, I don't know the amount of data we've gone through. And you're amazing for your research skills. But I'll wake up in the morning and I'll think, what I've got to read the later. Like I'm literally 2,000 messages behind on WhatsApp at the moment. And I can't even
know why
up.
that is.
Yeah, I know. But I think, oh God. But yeah, so it's all cool. I mean, it hasn't been all bad, but I can certainly see this is going to take some people a long time to recover from. But I just don't think I know that putting Christopher on the camera and him getting the last hurrah isn't my type of journalism. I mean, I would like to interview Chris because I would just like to sit there in the room with him and look at him, but and see what I would love him to interview me. Because what would he ask me, you reckon?
Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be something? Do you think he'd ask you about the guys that came to try to visit you?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Every action happens for a reaction. It's like, why did you send private investigators?
Why did you react that way, Danny?
Yeah. I wonder, I bet, you know what, he'll probably ask me why I didn't take the $150,000 offer.
Yeah.
And I'll go, if you don't know the answer to that question, then it's no point me answering any other questions. It's like,
it was dirty money.
Yeah, and what? And do I do? Like, does everybody?
That's not why you do it.
No, and it's really. I always think you do the right thing, the money will follow. But it's like, yeah, you don't always have to. You can actually do. You can have ethics and values and all that sort of stuff. You don't have to have a motive. A lot of people think I don't have a voice because I'm not. Maybe if I was a successful businessman and I've got a lot more money than a bull can shit, then all of a sudden I have a voice. But I've just proven that's you don't have to have money to have a voice, and you don't have to have money to have an impact. We've impacted Goliath Ventures, and and we're strategists. It's how we played this game of exposing this company. It was friggin'. We would sit there and like when we wanted to stop the bank, like we just witnessed this guy put $250,000 into Goliath. And I said, when did you do that? And he said, 8 o'clock last night. I said, have you gone back to your bank? And then we'd all go to the Avengers and go, how can we help this guy? Get the remittance slip. And that remittance slip actually froze the money for one of the bank accounts. And then 6 weeks later, or could even be further, the guy came back to us and said, how do I get my money back? So we managed to freeze his money that he lost. And now he waits 6 weeks before he comes back to us and asks how to get his money back that we helped him freeze. Never once have we heard from that guy again. Where does that work? So all he wants is his money back, his problem to go away. And he hasn't even said thank you. Nothing. And then I think, I'm not sure, but I think we might have even got accused of crashing Goliath because people couldn't get their money out. I mean,
Yeah. Oh, but that happens every scam. That happens all the time.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't, and I think about this now, and again, I know it's hard to think about, but had this continued and that product, whatever it is that he's talking about, that was never coming. That was never coming.
Yeah.
When would the madness have ended? And
Yeah,
it would have just gotten worse and worse and worse. And you think about that, and it's like, listen, I know it's hard now, but what would it have looked like a year from now or 2 years from now? I don't even want to think about it. It's disgusting.
Well, yeah.
What people would have lost.
Murdoch made off a whole lot of money, but he's got he had 150 years in prison. But it's like yeah. So that's how they. And I remember once when I was starting to bust Ponzi schemes and scams, I did a search on ChatGPT and I said, "Oh, can you list all the top 20 biggest Ponzi schemes ever in the world?" And I hadn't heard of them, half of them. It wasn't all the big ones that you hear. There's some massive Ponzi schemes. It's really interesting. I think I did a post about other Ponzi schemes, but they all have the same thing. Somebody was just promising people something they would never get.
Yeah.
All right. I think we'll leave it there.
Well, thanks for having me on.
Well, it's been awesome. Obviously, you can read the telephone book. You must have a really good voice if somebody would like you to read the telephone book. That's pretty cool. But I think it'd be fair to say we've got a lot of people thanking us. Susie has been with me all the way. I speak to Susie every day, and it's we've been doing this for ages. And there's other Avengers. Like we had a meeting this morning. There's some exciting things happening. A lot of people give us a lot of thanks, and it's really appreciated. We actually get paid with thank yous, and that's nice. And we just want to say, I want to say thank you for supporting us and what we do, because it makes it all worthwhile. Yes. If we save some people some money along the way, if people learn from this, or we get those occasional emails from people saying that I was just about going to deposit in that, and I did a search. My website at the moment, Suze, is getting 55 to 60,000 views per month.
Wow.
My YouTube channel, the most views I ever had in 1 month was 55,000. And this month we're up to 240,000. And this was happening just before CoffeeZilla stuff. So we were busting
Your
another scam.
website is just one big public service announcement.
Well, Oz has done amazing. And, like we've got other people like Oz from Behind MOM. He publishes every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll show you that because today he published something. He wrote to me and he said, "Oh, thanks for the heads up." And this was this,
Quadro.
yeah, and it's when you've got a network. I mean, this is the thing: is networking's everything. It's not what you know; it's who you know. I used to own a business networking company, and I know how to keep contacts and I know how to keep in touch with people. But this company here sent me, well, not the company, but a person.
A big promoter of the company.
Yeah,
Who
we thought
says that he has all sorts of copyrights.
Yeah, but this company is now. We did a blog about it. So this is how it works for us. We did a blog about this company, and then next minute we get all these people saying, "Is it a scam? Is it a scam?" And I go, "Yeah, have you not read the blog?" And they go, "No, I haven't seen the blog, but I searched for this, and your name comes up." And you go, "Okay." So now this company's fallen over, and we give the email to Oz, and it turns up on his website within a few hours. But that's another scam where people, I think, has actually invested. It seems like it's got quite a lot of traction. So
Yeah.
do check it out. But I haven't actually done a search on this yet. Let's see if I'm any good. We'll go to the search web. We search for that name and we find the actual website and this is what I think they could change. This website shouldn't be online. It should have been taken off. It's too slow, guys. Anyone that's in charge of these domain names, take them off.
Yeah.
That review, the social media, I've probably put a review in there, but let's go down that road. Oh, I put a 1-star review in Trustpilot. If I put a 1-star review in Trustpilot, they won't publish it and it gets removed. If I put a 5-star review and say exactly the same words, it gets published. So Trustpilot is a scam in itself. And that's because they only want to publish 5-star reviews, because if you get 5-star reviews and you're a business owner, then you can buy a widget and have it on your website for $180 a month. and so there's Oz, and I don't even come up. Oh, there I am. I do come up, and there's the blog.
Yeah.
And there we are, spying on them.
Of course, you've done plenty on Mike Lucas and Mike Donaldson, so.
Oh, they call them dumb and dumber. And then he's tried to file a lawsuit against me, which is crack up. And what I did with this particular one, I think I went to the bottom. There he is. Boom. He's like a retired man. And he gets 1,000 people in his friggin' broadcast like he's some sort of expert. I don't know where they get their audiences from, whether it's fake, I don't know, but it seems that way.
Well, here's the thing that I don't understand. Where do they find these people? I mean, I think back to Aquamarine Club. I can't help but every time I think about that one, I just have to laugh. And
Oh,
now these other 2 people are in Texas, and maybe they were trying to do something. I have no idea. I don't know them, but if these are the 2 main promoters that you have for this system, you've gone the wrong direction.
so this,
And again,
this,
now that withdrawals have stopped, well, I think that says it all. It
so
never
that,
was legitimate to begin with.
so this Aquamarine
Yeah.
Club was a crack up. This guy here was a fake CEO, and we found them doing B-grade movies
B-rate actor
in Nigeria.
from Germany living in Nigeria, right?
Yeah, but if you go to marketers, like this is what we do. So we've got Mr. Gerald there. So there's Mike Lucas, and this is what he looks like in front of the camera. And there he is. He lost a bit of weight lately. Hope he's all right.
His hair looks a little better than it
Yeah.
used to.
I'm actually going to pinch that photo of him because that's actually the best photo I've seen of him. Actually, that looks really like him. So I'll pinch that one. Oh, it's an Instagram post. So we can go screenshots. I might use that one and put that in there for later, in my special folder. I use these photos for ChatGPT though, because I can actually get that to be a pretty good photo. But if you look at him, I mean, I've only these are all the opportunities, and this is why people don't realize, as these guys, this is his latest scam. He was a part of Smart Lab, Marine Club.
AMC Global.
And this one here, I don't even remember what this one was, but there was something else I saw him promoting. But they just go from one scam to the next. Oh, I didn't give up
Yeah.
that.
Queen says one of the best fake CEOs. Then after that, many popped up.
Yeah, I know. It gives them the idea. Oh my
It
God.
does. They feed off each other. It's ugh.
What if I told you that this?
Oh, there he is. And this is Ponzi Patrol. He's another Avenger that fights these scammers. But look at his wig. But I think you've got to appreciate. Oh, so here he is here. So this is after seeing this guy pretending he's a real CEO, they found him on the internet. That's him there. The next minute, he's going. Here he is acting in a what do they call it? A song. What do they call it? And then I think has he got
Music video?
Yeah, but look at this. Here he is acting.
Lizzie, calm down.
Yeah, here's the B-rate movie.
Please, I beg you, calm down, Lizzie. This, what you are telling me. Any marriage has its challenges. You have to talk to your husband.
Oh my God. There he is.
No wonder he turned to scamming. That is absolutely terrible.
This guy was portrayed as a billionaire. I think the worst one is that's it. You've got to watch this bit here. So this is the part I keep flashback when I hear about
Looks
it.
like a lovely neighborhood.
So this
Apparently
is
he hangs
where he
out with
lives.
some goons because take a look at this rifle. Or maybe that's just another low-level acting gig. Who knows? And now for the million.
Oh my goodness! But that's the sort of and like you might think that's funny, and we do, but they had people signing up for this. So you got people like Mike Lucas, telling people this is the best investment ever. And if you look at the pitch deck, which we have,
I've had a sit down with so and so, or I've met so and so. Yeah, okay.
yeah, and they're saying
We've got a couple of those right now, right?
and they will say that they
Polar
invested
Tensor
30,000.
comes to mind.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Brian Bean, if you're watching, we know what you're doing, Brian Bean.
Yeah,
we
and
know.
if we
We know you're still promoting Polar Tensor.
If we were, and this is what the deal is, guys. If you're not wondering, this is standard plan 49 to 100, around 1,500 to 10,000, and then we went for the unlimited plan. They'll tell you $10,000, and then, but that's really interesting. So what we are doing at the moment is if I go to because I've got another couple of blogs I haven't got out yet. What's the other one?
We've got some new promoters that are popping up too for BG Wealth because, things are spinning out of control now that they have this new platform that you only have to pay $100 to get into and blah, blah, blah. Don't do it, folks. It's still going to the same place. Remember, BG Wealth is run by a criminal network that is operating a human trafficking compound in Cambodia. And the DOJ is all over it. And the FBI is all over it. Do not pay these people any more money.
I don't know if you've seen this, but I don't know if I should do this live, but it's what have we got? We got I want to see Ken Gamble. So anyone know Ken Gamble? So Ken is
I know Ken Gamble.
Yeah, he's awesome. So is it the same one? Okay.
Yes.
Ken Gamble. Where are you spelling? Oh, there he is. So Ken Gamble is a ex-police officer based in Cambodia, right? So this is him yesterday. Meeting the general. I don't even know how to say it. Was it the Commissioner General?
Sartet.
Yeah.
Commissioner General of the Cambodian National Police.
I've met him. I've met him too. So Ken's over there at the moment, busting human trafficking compounds. This is, this is funny, but this guy here, Special Forces, he asked me to give him a reference so he'd be get a new job because he was moving up the ranks, and he asked me for a reference. Can you believe that? But I've met these guys face to face. But Ken's got a whole lot of new photos which I can't show you because he's over there with a film crew documenting his journey, which is quite cool. But he's literally gone into human trafficking compounds with the Cambodia police chief, and he shut them down. And you've got to ask that question: what are they doing in those human trafficking compounds? They are producing scams and giving them to people like Mike Lucas.
Mike Lucas.
Yeah, and they come out with these scams, and they're telling everyone, this one's different. all these PDFs are all given to them, and they're just worthless people, and they all look shiny. If you want to be a magpie, if you have magpies wherever, they
And I think
look.
that that's such a common misconception. People think that they can identify scams because they think that it's going to look dirty somehow, and
Yeah,
that's not always the way that these things run.
and people say it sounded good, it sounded legitimate, and I go, well, don't, because yeah, it's really really hard. But the
Ooh,
one
Queen has some news.
who
Queen said Batman wants to come on the show with you.
now?
He emailed today.
Oh yeah,
Not right now, probably, but he wants
where
to
is
arrange
Batman?
it.
Well, funny enough, Batman was quite funny. So if we go to, I'll show you what we wrote to Batman because Batman's a bit funny. If I go to my YouTube channel, so we've been going after, well, I can't call him a scammer because he might be listening, but people who promote these opportunities, and we basically called him out. So we had this video here yesterday, and we went through. It's Queen of Karma and me, and Batman is this guy here, and he was basically over giving Queen of Karma a hard time because she called him a scammer. So now if you go down to the comments here, where is he? He said, I'm ready to talk to you both. I told you last night I will come on. Let's set a day and a time. How do I contact you? So I wrote back to him. He's done it twice, but down here, he's basically telling me that I accused him of not having his contact details on his YouTube channel, and there's no way of me contacting him. So then he's come back and said, I told you my contact details. Give me a ring. And I said, well, I'm a New Zealander, so here's my signal. And then he's accused me of not using the contact details on his, whatever you call it, on his website. So when you go to his YouTube channel, he's got this realinternetcash.info, and you click on it and it goes off nowhere. It doesn't work anymore. So then I told him I'm a New Zealander, contact me. So hopefully we will get, and then I said you can come on the show using this link. Anyone can. But at the end of the day, we're going to go to this guy. Look, I've subscribed to your YouTube channel, mate. And he's producing video after video, basically just documenting his journey. And that's what they all do. And then when it crashes, he removes all the other videos where he was promoting it. And he's saying
Get out. No way.
Yeah, but in the meantime, most of them talk about, in this video, he talked about how he had 3 people sign up under him, and now he's going back to those 3 people and saying sorry. And then, but anyway, the funny thing is, there's another opportunity out here called the Fund Saver Network. And I saw him an hour after he said he's going to come on the show, he's off promoting the Fund Saver Network. And that's just a scam. So I'm, and we know it's a scam because of the people behind it. So I don't know how to help these people. But apparently he's just documenting his journey. Is he part of the problem?
Danny, I learned about somebody in BG Wealth today that was taking money. There were individuals in this team or group that either couldn't pay or didn't know how to get the crypto to BG to pay their 12%. And so this group had one person in charge, and that person accumulated all of the money from everybody from Zelle and Cash App and all sorts of other places. And then they deposited the money and spoke with Elena. And Elena said that she would be able to get all of their accounts squared away. But the woman that was running this deposited the money in her own account. And so now it has to be divided up against all of these other accounts. And yet they say that you'll get the 12% back. It's just a fee that you have to pay. So we know you're legitimate, and then you'll get it back. But that's never coming back. And even if it did, then the woman went on and said that once I get that 12% back, it's going to be a nightmare for me because I'm going to have to Zelle each and every one of you.
Oh
And
my
it was
God.
about $20,000 that
Oh my
she
goodness.
did accumulated and sent. I was like, why?
Oh my goodness.
Why is nobody listening? Why is it that they don't think that the FBI or the DOJ release is legitimate? What is
Oh
it?
God, I don't know. I mean,
I wish somebody would come on and tell us, or write to us, or come into the chat and tell us, because I don't understand.
some good thing. I'm gonna just yeah. We have some good stories. But for example, so that lady's taken $20,000 of all her friends and then done one bulk payment to a scammer lady, and then once they get all their money back, she's going to repay everybody. For a start, that's all money laundering. You're not allowed to do that, and she will never get the money back. So that was the first red alarms there. And also, she's going to burn the bridge of all the people that trust her. And there's no proof, I believe, where she's actually paid the money either. So she's just opening herself up to so many bad things, and she's ignored all the warnings and just gone away with faith and trust. She believes the AI
Yeah, and you
people
bring up
she's
a
talking to
great
are real.
point, Danny. If anybody's listening to this, and that might have been you, that you paid somebody that was in your group, and they made some lump payment, please ask them for the transaction hash and the wallet that they sent the money to, or the crypto to. You want to know those two pieces of information, because if and when you should ever feel the need to report this, you're going to want to know what crypto wallet and hash was used to send your money to this scam.
Yeah. And it's massive. And we'll help you do that. Give us the hashtag, give it to us, and we'll tell you whether your money actually went to BG Wealth Sharing or whatever their new name is. We'll even tell you whether it linked up to their main wallet addresses. And more importantly, we'll probably show you where the money went. And it won't be distributed and paid into each crypto wallet because there's no wallet proof. There's no exchange. There's nothing to see. You're totally blind. It's literally like throwing your money down a well and hoping that's going to hit water. And at the end of the day, the water's just a friggin' hole. It's not connected to any reservoir. That makes sense?
And that person was asking the AI to do something that the AI, Elena, can't not do. And so some people are going to get what they want, and other people are just never going to get what they need.
Yeah. Yeah. We have some good stories. So this guy here, I believe that this guy is more genuine than he was at the start. And we all like making a little bit of extra money online, and having a YouTube channel, you do make a little bit of money. It might be $100, $200, $300 a month if you're lucky. I sort of average around about $300 or $400 a month, a little bit more in the last month or two, thanks to coffee. Thank you. But so this guy here has been producing videos about his journey, about BG Wealth Sharing, and he was the guy in the car, and we gave him a bit of a hard time, and he's actually listened to us. And he's actually now realised it's all crashed. He's made all his videos that were making him money private. So you can't, unless you're going to join him. And I think he's archived his journey. And now he's doing new videos. And he's even got a no scam t-shirt on. And I know he watches our video. So good on you, Mr. Morris. But this video here was 10 hours ago, 722 views. That is a lot of traffic. And then 2,300 views 2 days ago, 91 views. See, his channel is known for BG Wealth Sharing stuff. When he publishes a video about BG Wealth Sharing, even though he's now saying it's a scam, he gets the traffic. When he publishes a new video, 45 views, 91 views, 1.8 views, BG Wealth. BG Wealth 1.5 views. So he's got traffic coming in, but now what he's making money the same, if not better, than he was from his YouTube channel, now exposing BG Wealth Sharing. So if your hidden agenda is, I'm going to make a little bit of extra side money by running a YouTube channel, then you might as well be exposing these scams and getting better revenue than you were by promoting them, if that was your agenda. Yeah. And that's a great story. And I want to meet this guy and talk to him. And, we gave him a hard time. I published quite a few videos, but that to us is a victory. Everyone wins on that. He shared his journey all right, but shared his journey here. He found out this is the first time he's ever got invested in anything, so he says, and I have no reason not to believe him. I think that's great. So, but when we give somebody a berating like our friend Mr. Stinger, Batman, And then next minute, 1 hour later, he's off promoting another investment opportunity, promising dreams to people. Then we just go down harder on you, mate. So, it's like we're not gonna give up. We don't have to give up. We just tell the truth. So, Mr. Earl Batman Stinger, we hope that we can convert you and to stop promoting this crap that you promote on the internet. You're not a finance.
That's the goal.
Eh?
That's the goal.
Yeah.
To convert him.
Well, we need more Avengers. So if you know people that are sitting there that want to do YouTube stuff, help us report stuff, you can use my videos, you can share my videos, whatever you need, we can give you an angle. And many hands make light work. And that's what, we really are a collaboration of people that, I know Queen of Karma, make sure you post your URL, but, she puts her heart in, her last video has gone off really, really well. So notice my list of Avengers there, and then look at the Ponzi schemers. We've got, these are all the bad people versus all the good people. So I go into Queen of Karma. She posted a video the other day. I think it was a live, and that's brilliant. Look at that. 6,100 people viewed it, compared to the one next door, 348. This one here is BG Wealth Sharing, 1.8. But this lady here, she's apparently got $6 million worth of money tied up in BG Wealth Sharing. And people are going, oh, she's lost money too. You know what it means? They restricted the amount of money that the leaders could withdraw. Some of them were taking out like $1,000 a day. Then they were told that it was restricted to $500 a day because they were having liquidity problems or whatever excuse they gave. I don't know what it was. And now this lady's meant to have $6 million tied up on the app. And everyone's going, oh, she can't afford to pay the 12% to get her money out. Well, she's not going to get her money out anyway. But the reason, if you had $6 million on an app, would you leave $6 million on the app? Or would you try to take out $2-3 million? Or did you believe the app so much that you thought you were going to be a non-millionaire and you're just going to leave it there because you trust the app so much? That's the reason why they've got money on their apps, because they couldn't get it off the platform ages ago, but they carried on promoting it. And that's disgusting. But good on you, Queen of Karma. That video there will make Queen of Karma probably the grand total of about $17 or $18. She spent probably about 3 or 4 days putting it together and researched it for weeks. But hey, it's a little bit of side hustle. And now that lady there.
Join Queen's channel.
Yes. That lady has sent me a cease and desist letter telling me that I've done bad reporting, even though the scams she's promoting has fallen over. She wants me to take down all my videos because it's not true. And I'm going, whatever. Copy link address. So there it is. But yeah, so many hands make light work. And if you do subscribe to our YouTube channel, it's not just because we want you to fill up your inbox. It's because it gives us a bigger footprint on the internet. Our videos basically get picked up. And if you want to know how it really works, if we go to CoffeeZilla video, it was really interesting. This video screamed up to 2.6 million views in the first 3 days. And now it's had 200,000 views in the last 2 days. So Google pushed these videos out with fury until the mathematical equation happens where everyone's sort of seen it, and then it stops pushing it out so much, and now he has to rely on his, whatever. I don't know how it works. But I noticed CoffeeZilla was quite clever because he's got another channel. He did a video last night, and I know other people would have gone back in to watch this video, and then it might have spiked or pushed Google into the ribs again, and then Google starts sending that video out to people. So by subscribing and being interactive and commenting on these videos, it helps them get traction. They get distributed, for use of a better word, by Google. And that's how they get out there. But that's the most I've ever been in a video. Some of these 7.7, 3.5 million views are amazing. And I watched a guy last night that was sort of basically reviewing Coffee's video. And he kept on going on about how awesome it's produced, and it is. It's first class. You'd watch that on TV thinking it was a TV program, you know what I mean? Well, I watch it. So a minute. All right, so as you go to bed, I know it's late for you.
Thanks, Admiral. But it's nice being on the show with you.
Well, it's lovely.
We'll have to do it
Always
again
is.
sometime.
Yeah. And Susie and I actually had the privilege of meeting face to face when I went to America, but Susie's been working with us for 3 years, and it was such a nice thing for us too to actually hug, because we've gone through all sorts of things together as we do in this industry. So I feel like I'm sitting there having a glass of wine with you. So awesome, man. Yeah, it was sort of surreal, wasn't it, when we met? It was just it's crazy. Yeah, it was just crazy. What a journey. Woo. Let's onward.
An honor and a pleasure.
Yeah, no, awesome. All right, I'm going to say goodbye to you. I'm going to say goodbye to Susie, and we'll see you at the bottom of the cliff or the top of the cliff. You make the choice. See you guys.